just remembered that you sent me that picture. I said let me check Spotify real quick because you did send me that picture. Persona stuff.
Getting Persona stuff.
Yeah, the Persona dancing game soundtracks just went live on Spotify.
So we'll know what it'll be.
Oh, okay. Man, apparently it went live yesterday, and I just had no idea.
Oh, yesterday it was live. He was behind.
Yeah, I was behind, but that's okay because
that is okay.
That's okay because it's here now.
But you know the funny part, you probably already know all of those songs.
I do, but these are the remixes though.
Oh,
these are the remixes. The remixes are fire. I only get to listen to them when I'm playing the video game, the rhythm game,
which would still be a solid amount. You've heard them, so.
Oh yeah, but they still inspire joy.
Understood. I love how, like, Jeff, do you just wait for the live to, like, once you get the announcement that we're live, like, that's when you hop in?
That's his cue.
Like, oh, time to go. Okay.
Yeah, I actually don't even see it. It was just perfect time.
You just pop it.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's just it was just meant to be. That's even better. I love that.
I mean, I'm not getting on until I finish smoking. So,
gotta be right. Gotta have your medicine. Be in the right state of mind, philosophical, and think properly.
I got me a little drinky drink tonight too.
Okay. Oh, and a drink. Okay.
Kind of,
and a drink. Well, that is perfect. We're going to jump right into a couple things we're going to talk about. But first and foremost, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, geeks of all ages. We are Grown A Geeks. This is Weigh In Wednesday. You are awesome for being here. I want to thank everybody who's joining me tonight. We got Heroic Hat, David. He is here. Find him everywhere. Heroic Hat. JPNT17. Check out his Instagram and his is it 85 South Apparel?
Yeah, 85 Apparel Company.
85
also,
Apparel.
You can go to jpnt17.com. You can check out my work there. And also
there it is.
Have a shop that you can get to from there. Also with some prints, some t-shirts. And
got some really nice stuff out there. I'm just like real talk. Got some really nice stuff. Jeff Miller joining us tonight. Welcome back, Jeff.
Woo!
What's been going on with you, man?
I appreciate it.
Jeff in love.
Not much, man. Just working.
Right.
My
You know
butt.
what?
Jeff lost in the sauce.
I can't even be mad.
No.
Jeff over there
what it
eating
is,
them
guys,
down
is
home
actually-
good country cooking meals.
Well, every day, man. But no, I actually middle of December I got the flu and had to be almost died, and it took me a couple weeks to get back from that.
Oh damn.
Well, we
So
are.
I've been having to go to doctors. I got it was touch and go there, but then I had to get back to work and had to work my butt off for a couple weeks. I missed like 18 days of work. Spent 2 days in the hospital, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was bad. That is easily the sickest I have ever been in my life. COVID was nothing compared to that flu.
I am glad that you are.
But I'm back now. I'm all caught up on my shows finally. Been watching Last of Us.
There you go.
Getting caught up on all my shows.
Been enjoying Last of Us myself.
There's
That's been a hell of a show.
Better not be watching on your Xbox. All I'm saying.
Are we doing this? Is this what's happening?
You know what? I would
this?
say when we first had when we had our first discussion about Last of Us, I even had on my PlayStation shirt. Okay, I was showing all the love the right way.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, we're gonna talk about the Xbox Direct, the developer Direct. We're gonna talk about that.
We
today.
sure will.
Wait, what is that?
So there used to be this thing that was a big deal every year. Gamers would look forward to. It's called E3. And
Oh, that's still a thing. It's coming back.
Oh yeah,
so,
I've been to that.
Right, and so like you have the gaming expos, and there was always
It's like what?
No, I mean it does not surprise me
It's an
because
electronic show.
given the different marketing strategies, you needed to know the product and stuff. So yeah, it makes perfect sense that you were there.
Yeah, because we went when they were doing the release for the Spider-Man game, and it was like a big Fortnite thing because it was like I think it was like Fortnite's like first year at E3
Yeah.
or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, this girl I work with made me get in like the Fortnite emote dance competition. So there's some video somewhere floating around of me like dancing like a Fortnite character.
Wait a minute. Okay. What year was that, David? What year did?
No, actually, my friend has it. I'll tag her in this or something, and she'll
gladly
send it
post
to you.
it, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
she doesn't care. She already posted it.
Okay, so I just have to find her, go back and track that down. Very cool. Well, once we had like the breakdown from COVID and everything, and everybody had to change everything, and we missed out on E3 a couple of years. And so what they started doing was all of the gaming companies would just have their own showcase. And like we had and as a result, everybody kind of followed suit, and we've had a lot of different things go down like that. Of course, as Jeff was mentioned, we have consumer electronic shows and stuff like that. But even a couple of years ago, when DC had their DC Direct, where they were like, this is what we're gonna do, try to get out there and do that.
Yeah, they're like replacement for Comic-Con.
Exactly. And so
was Nintendo the first one to do a Direct?
Probably.
That's the earliest one I remember seeing was a Nintendo Direct.
I think
it would have been one of the first companies to kind of bow out.
Nintendo already had their own kind of directs.
Yeah, they didn't really need E3 because they just did it.
Nintendo was going Nintendo regardless. And so I think when they first announced that E3 would not be taking place that year, Nintendo was like, oh, okay, we was just going to show y'all a video anyway, so we'll just do that. Because I remember even a few years back, we actually covered one of the Nintendo live stream. we when I think it was Reggie was the head at the time, and oh man, I have to go back and find that video. Don't go to our archive. Actually, if you go back and you look at Gag Origins, it's in there somewhere. But I think David Linden and I covered basically a Nintendo developer direct that they hosted some years back. That's one of our first coverages of that. But yeah, so Xbox had theirs today, and this kind of comes. I won't say they came last, so it was one of those things where it's like PlayStation had their big announcement not too long ago, and Nintendo's always talking about what they're going to do. So everybody's been kind of waiting and chomping at the bit to see what Xbox was going to say, what they were going to deliver, and of course, a few things that we expected, and I gotta say that it was lackluster. Like I wasn't just like,
you think so?
I wasn't blown away because I don't feel like there was as big of an announcement for anything. Because it's like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, coming soon to an Xbox near you, another version of Forza. You know what I'm saying? And that's literally how it felt. Like they hyped it up. Now, I will say, graphically, what they showed of Forza was like, oh my God, is this a video game? So I'll give them that. But every year, it's like when they announced the new Gran Turismo, you're like, you're just going to keep making a good thing better and better and better to the point where it will just eventually be virtual driving. And Mark is saying he's glad you're better, Jeff. And yes, it turns out Nintendo was first, and that's what I thought. But yeah, it's like Forza was probably their. I don't know if it's fair to say their biggest announcement. It was an announcement that they made.
One of their major tent poles, where it's like the big.
See, and that's the funny thing. We've got something coming in April as well. So first off, here's a quick rundown of everything that they announced. Dave and I were talking earlier. They've got an Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is going still.
And so that is the characters from Morrowind and bringing all of that, which is basically like online Skyrim, Morrowind. It's that same universe, that same world. And it is of all the different MMOs. Well, actually, let me get an opinion on this. Dave, what do you think?
I personally am not a big fan of Elder Scrolls Online. I just don't like the game feel about it. However, they do a thing that I enjoy that MMOs do, which my favorite one currently, Final Fantasy 14, does. All of the previous expansions are now free, and they have like fucking 20 or some shit like that. There's a lot.
And I was actually going to point out on this one. It is an interesting, as far as MMOs go. I don't necessarily think that it's like one of the more popular ones, but they have a lot of content.
But it's not super popular, but they got a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot.
And what's really cool is even somebody who like just decides to pick up and start playing now has access to everything that was there before. So you can go, like there's some places that might be like level capped. You can't go to this area until you're such and such level.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls is like, if you can see it, you can go there. You might die, but you're welcome to adventure that direction. And so they really do make it like open world and free for you to go to the different areas. And I don't think that one requires the additional subscription on top.
I believe it doesn't. It's been a while since I've actually touched Elder Scrolls Online, but I believe you can just like grab the disc and just be fine.
And so that's that's a plus. And the new game that's coming out has a Necrom, which is a new playable class.
Yeah. The Necrom
is the new game. The new playable class is the Arcanist.
Yes.
So that's going to be interesting. That'll be, for those people who are into that. Forza Motorsports.
It's Forza.
It
looks good. There's a bunch of cars. It's Forza.
Right. 4K, 60 frames per second, ray trace, light rendering, realistic simulated driving. It is,
but it ain't no story. Like they need to make them games like. But what kind of story? Is like I'm just racing?
Yeah, it's literally just racing.
Yeah, I remember that game on PlayStation. I think it was called Driver.
Yeah,
where you were a hired like driver.
You were a heist driver.
Yeah,
that was Transporter before Transporter was a Transporter.
And me and my cousin, we beat that game together because he would do the driving and I would be doing the map reading.
Right.
And I'm just like, make a left up here. I was like, I can't do both, bro. He was like, I can't do both either. So I was like, all right, you drive because that shit give me anxiety.
Let me tell you,
crashing into stuff.
That was one of those games. I thought that was a very, very inventive game to make it where if you were driving down the road, you have like one of the little stolen cars or whatever, you're driving down the road. If you were doing the speed limit and you passed by a police officer, they would not bother you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like floored it as soon as you got past the police officer, like they would turn on the lights and then start pursuing you or things like that. Or sometimes if you like I would actually like purposely hit other cars to make them turn on their lights so I would have that chase sequence. But that and I think the first was it Mafia 2 that did that, where like you had to drive the speed limit and obey the laws, stop at stoplights. Otherwise, the police would pull you over and harass you.
Like they could have been making them kind of games the same way they was making all them Grand Theft Autos and stuff.
No, they did that. They called it Shenmue, and people did not like having to like go to work every day and go to school and like because it was like in-game time. It was bro. Right? Like
Just give me the high like jump cut me, bro. That's why I never really got into. I bought one of the Assassin's Creeds because I saw the commercial. I was like, damn, that shit look crazy. And I got it, man. I'm like walking through the desert. I gotta pray behind some monks to go in. I'm like, man, what? Where's all the stuff that I saw in the game in the commercial? And I was like,
that's how they get you. That's how they get you. The trailers.
I got Tiger Woods golf.
And then you did exactly what you thought you were going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. No, I mean, Forza Motorsport, the newest one is, bigger, better, prettier Forza. Coming this April, Minecraft Legends. That was another instance where I kind of felt like they were just kind of milking Minecraft. It's like, what is?
So
Yeah, break
Minecraft.
this one down for me.
So this is an action strategy game. So um I think it's taken elements from Minecraft Dungeons
Okay.
and just kind of incorporating that. And it looks like it's more so focusing on building fortresses and managing units, which is my type of game. So I'm in there already.
Now, with the Minecraft Legends, the new one that's coming out,
Yeah,
what was the previous spinoff from Minecraft?
that would be the one I was just talking about, Dungeons.
Minecraft Dungeons. Was that the one where you like
There was
it was focused
there was
on
another
Steve?
one I thought.
Story mode. No, just it was story mode.
Yeah,
Yeah, duh.
Minecraft story mode.
Yeah. So Minecraft Legends is the one that came out like a year, like 2 years ago, right?
Yes,
That's the newer one. And Minecraft Story Mode that's a while back. Okay. And so that's just one of those things like Minecraft. I feel like obviously they found a way to do not to necessarily reinvent the wheel, but they were able to put new tires on it, new tread on the rim. And that's impressive. Because I'm like, how are we getting another Minecraft game? Okay. This one's Minecraft.
Minecraft is the new Skyrim.
basically.
It's gonna go that
be
route.
on everything before it
is on everything.
It is on it. No, it's like it is currently on everything.
Minecraft and Fortnite are the new Skyrims.
Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, 5, Windows, Xbox One, and Xbox Series, all available April 18th for the new Minecraft game. So Forza, Minecraft, and Elder Scrolls Online. Those were I guess like the standard announcements.
Yeah. And
then we got 2 gems. And I have to say, one of them was a little fun. I'm kind of happy for this just because I think it's a break from the norm. And let me see if I can find an image for it because I don't want to show any content because you never know how video is going to work. Maybe if I just have it playing inside of another window, it won't.
Or just show a picture.
Hi-Fi Rush is the newest title. That's a surprise launch. It's from the same company that made the Evil Within games.
Yep, which is a different
survival horror, and now they are doing something akin to Comic Zone and Jet Set Future, like Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
If you take Comic Zone and Jet Set Radio and made a game, it would be this Hi-Fi Rush. And I think
that's like, I got a different vibe off of that, actually. It feels more like a Devil May Cry than it would like anything else.
It's probably going to have, like, in terms of the battle and fight system, yes, but the fact that it relies so heavily on the beat mechanic in the game, and that's kind of why I want to have the actual like video that they showed playing. Maybe if I put something in the tag down below, like, I do not own the rights to Hi-Fi Rush or whatever I got to put in the comments
or just drop the link to the video in the comments.
Yeah, that would be the way to do that. And let's see, click that there it is. Hi-Fi Rush official. And so this one, there it is, share, copy, bam. Go ahead and pop that in there. But yeah, Hi-Fi Rush, the way they described it, the way the game was actually being described is basically going to be you play a kid with like a cybernetic implant in your chest or whatever, and that cybernetic implant allows you to see the rhythm, air quoting rhythm, the rhythm that exists in the world. And the closer and more in tune you are with that rhythm, the more points and attack bonuses you get. It is going to be, probably a little hack and slash, little Devil May Cry,
Yeah.
but the beat element, and it's got like a pretty dope sound. It's got, it got a nice little rock and roll soundtrack. All the different artists that are going to have their music featured and whatnot, and just watching some of the gameplay, it actually looked to be a lot of fun. And what's actually pretty awesome about that is, if I'm not mistaken, that one's already out.
Yeah, it launched a couple hours ago.
Yeah, that one's out today, so I can enjoy getting around to that. And matter of fact, hey Google, turn on my TV, and we will.
Man, we in the future.
Right, we are in the future.
3023.
This
Right.
man said, "Hey Google."
And where's? Oh, there it is. So I ain't want to get too bougie and like tell it turn on the Xbox and do a game and all that. I'm gonna do too much with it. And look, so right here, when you log into your Xbox, it says join us for Developer Direct, presented by Xbox and Bethesda. You can pre-install the games, watch the show, or exit because I watched it earlier. So Game Pass, right there, now available for Game Pass. There it is, Hi-Fi Rush. Put a little bit in there. We'll get a little gaming in. I'll try it out a little bit. But yeah, that one looked like it was actually going to be a lot of fun. And every once in a while, you just want something fun to play. Everything doesn't have to always be so super.
The Last of Us.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't always need to go in like that. Because right now I'm replaying Cyberpunk. I've been spending a lot of time in the DMZ on Call of Duty. And so there is their Hi-Fi Rush available today.
I need to get back on my PS5. I need to play some Tony Hawk.
Get back into your Tony Hawk. Back to grinding
man.
power rails.
They changed the controls a little bit, so I'm just getting back used to because like the controls on Tony Hawk used to be very like simple, but then like I don't know if you ever played Skate.
Yeah,
those controls were like way more complex,
very particular.
And Tony Hawk was like,
I remember going from Tony Hawk to Skate and being like, I have to completely relearn how to play.
Yeah, Tony Hawk, you be doing crazy stuff, and it's just like as long as you're not like sideways, you're gonna land the trick. But Skate
every
is like,
time.
no, my brother, no, my brother, you got to get that balance right. You got to actually do the pattern with both joysticks to get the right grind.
Skate is honestly, to me, Skate feels like a fighting game for skateboards.
Yeah,
because you have to know those combos.
Analogy, actually,
but then you have to get that controller layout. But then you can't just button mash that.
But then look, when you watch them videos, and you be seeing people do crazy stuff, and I'd be like, "Yo, time out." Did you see the video? There's a famous one because it was like. They had this like basically it was like a gallery and it was like a board. It was like trick of the like best trick or whatever. Right. And this dude did like a backflip. And when he came around off the flip, he was like in coffin mode, laying down flat on the board, goes through 2 like grates of the fire escape, gets up and then lands that trick. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. There's like, how in the world could you even
only way I could see that even being possible would be like if you went up one side of a half pipe, you could flip, and on the way down,
I'm about to find this video.
Possibly you could be laying on the skateboard coming down the ramp. That would be possible. Otherwise, I don't see how that could even play out. Oh my God. So I'm skipping all the opening cinematics. Normally, I would sit and watch all of that stuff. I'd just be like, "Where's the character?" Okay, so there's your guy, robotic arm, and he has on a hospital gown. Now, if you'll notice, if you can see, he's kind of like tapping his foot, and he's on beat. So let me. So you can hear the music playing in the game, and like the little light over there that's like flicking. That's like your symbol. Dum dum, dum dum, dum dum, dum dum.
Okay. I found one of the other videos. It's not the one I was talking about, but it's like a crazy video. I'm putting it in the chat here. Wait. Let me put in the.
Looks like it might be a minute before I get to attack anything. This is as fast as he runs. Oh, okay. So of course, wait.
Is that a demo?
No, this is the full game.
It's like super bright, so I can't really see it.
Kind of hard to see.
Let me see. Actually, you know what?
Might be the glare and the angle.
Possibly. I could probably just pull up Game Pass on my computer. Then they couldn't say
now
anything.
You're just showing off.
No, I
now
mean
you're
it's
just
just that's why I have this computer I have, so I can do that kind of thing, so that is an option. Let me stop this trailer here. Close this down. Actually, I just want to minimize that window because I want to be able to pull that back up when we get ready to talk about Oscars.
Oscar Mayer.
Hashtag Oscar snub.
I mean, I have a whole different take on the Oscars anyway. So
I didn't know that was still going on. That's how impressed I am by the Oscars.
Yeah,
and it's funny because
results, I can't say I watched the show.
Right, and that's what I do. I look to see like who won, and I will probably there's a very good chance that I will go back and check out a winner from the Oscars before I'm going to focus on who got nominated and oh, you know what? IGN already has the first 20 minutes of Hi-Fi Rush up. So, I mean, that's what they should do. That are coming up with greatest hits.
your mic is kind of going out, bro.
Your mic is faded out, Sam.
You sound like you're underwater.
We're muted.
See, that's typically what happens when I start trying
there
to
you go.
That's better.
All right. Loose site changes may not be saved. Okay, I don't know what changes they were, but we won't worry about those. Make that small, make this big. There we go. Okay. That's there and percent.
Literally, you can hear it in the background heartbeat, but that's about all you can hear.
Oh, I forgot it was even playing, man. I was getting ready to pull it up on something else. But since IGN already has the first 20 minutes up, I was just going to let IGN show the gameplay footage. For what it's worth, that's just how this...
Boy, you can count the pixels.
That's just how this particular video...
I see the shit.
Why?
Boy.
Oh.
Well,
and then it would be like, submit your best trick. It's like, no.
Ain't nobody following that. Let's see. Nope, we're not giving another streamer a free watch. Not hating, but we're not sharing that. Let me stop sharing the screen. I don't know what's on that screen right now.
Yeah.
Do this properly. Okay, nothing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that particular game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like it is an interesting play. It's got some music elements, which of course kind of, that tickled my fancy. Like, oh, okay, cool. So a game where when you play, you get to be on beat, and the more on beat you are, the better things go and play out. And see, that's him getting dressed and whatnot. He's got a robotic arm, and it looks like he's smashing things with a guitar. So definitely looks like it's going to be an interesting, fun game. And just from what I was watching on it, they say that the audio. Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Light attack, heavy attack. Okay. So you've got the beat playing in the background, and if you're like pressing the buttons and hitting the beat, like, okay, so you can't see it, but it like gave me a timing. So that definitely has that Devil May Cry element where it showed me my ranking in this particular match by saying like, oh, my timing was an S score, my attack was an S score. I got 450 points off that first battle and ranked S. That'd be like your rankings. Probably not. I don't know if they have like a triple S, so I don't necessarily want to say that was great. Obviously wasn't bad, but it was like you hear the beat and you like press the buttons. Like, okay, when you play Parappa the Rapper, any kind of like Dance Revolution or anything where you have to like match up the beat and hit the buttons in accordance, that's how the attack system works. And that feels like that's going to be a big part of this game. So I'm looking forward to that one. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm interested in playing that one myself.
Parappa songs are still stuck up here, by the way. You said the words, and in my head right now, I'm hearing kick, punch. It's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'm sure you're fine. Even after all these years, that's how much I played Parappa.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like you take a Guitar Hero.
I wish they would re-release those. Guitar
DJ
Hero, Rock Band, any of those.
Yeah, Rock Band. I mean, any like you said, Rock Band. Any of the ones that were there. All
I
of
bought
those
Beatles Rock Band to try to understand why people like the Beatles so much, and it didn't help.
I'm kind of speechless.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a movie called Across the Universe?
Yes.
I think the Beatles.
I think the Beatles are very good songwriters.
Yeah.
I enjoy a lot of covers of their songs, but them as performers, I do not necessarily understand the appeal.
You would enjoy in Cross the Universe then, because it's all Beatles covers.
Yeah, I know, I do.
It's not actually
there's a Fiona Apple cover of Across the Universe that I like a lot. And then I listened to the original afterwards because I was like, man, I like this Fiona Apple version so much. And it's a Beatles song, so maybe this is one that I'll like. And I listened to the Beatles version. I'm just like, no thanks.
I can see that.
Like the remix better, like the remake. And I really feel like, and music is one of those things that's so.
There's a lot of subjectivity, but then there's like, let's be real, okay? Because now let me. I want to talk about something that's. Let me geek out on music a little bit.
Oh no, wait, but you're about to talk music. I'm gonna bring in a DJ, so go right ahead.
Please do.
Because, that's why he asked. He was like, "Oh, let me get in here for this."
Now, just a curiosity question for you, Jeff. Are you a Rolling Stones fan?
No.
Because a lot of people, there's a big divide. A lot of people come down on either the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. They don't usually like both.
Neither.
So I was just curious.
Rolling Stones, they got a couple good songs too, but like, I'm not feeling that, man.
There were a few songs that I liked. I didn't know they were Rolling Stones until later. So I can't even give them credit because I just liked the song, and then I found out it was Rolling Stones.
I don't like Mick Jagger as a singer. And so even if there's like good songs, some of the songs that I like by Rolling Stones are ones where he has a little bit more of an understated performance, like Under My Thumb. That's probably my favorite Rolling Stones song. So, but that's just like a nice little vibe. And it's like that's the Rolling Stones where you like, yeah, they're just making they're making black music. Like that's R&B technically, but you're just playing it with like a 4-piece rock band. And you know, they will admit that that's basically what they were doing at the time as well. But I think it just comes down to me, like I'm a big person on like voice and like actual singing, and that just don't do it for me. Cause like, and so what I was tying this kind of into like my thoughts about the Oscars. And then also there was that Rolling Stone list that came out a few weeks ago about like greatest singers. It's like whatever number they put on it.
Yeah.
And they have like Paul McCartney as a better singer than Michael Jackson. And it's like we've heard Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson on the track together twice. Yes. And Michael Jackson has blown Paul McCartney out of the water every single time. And somehow Michael Jackson ends up number 86th singer of all time. Is it crack?
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
So my attitude is this. Obviously, like these institutions don't appreciate what we do. Like we have all these evidences of black people who have been snubbed by the Oscars. We have these so-called institutions of music that's supposed to be looking at everything based off of merit, and they can't get past their own bias. I'm over all of it, bruh. I don't care about none of these awards. And I feel like black creators, honestly, should just be like, F all of it. Just tell Rolling Stone, like don't do no more covers. Don't do no more articles for them. Because for whatever exposure you feel like you're getting, they're not paying respect back to the culture that it deserves. Don't host the Oscars no more, black comedians, until they start treating stuff right. Like, you can't tell me, like, so you gonna get up here and you gonna make jokes about, are you gonna make a joke about how the Woman King was snubbed? Are you gonna make them feel bad about that? Or are you just gonna like get up there and make the wrong joke and get smacked again? Or make jokes about how somebody got smacked and people coming out with security and all that other crap like that.
I mean,
they're gonna get homeboy who does the voice from Shaggy on Velma to do to host.
Why would you bring that up?
He's always down.
So
or not. Be mad about that.
So I like that this show is about to make a hard left, and I'm good with it because that's what live shows do. It's real, it's raw. Let's get into it. Real quick, I just want to say Hi-Fi Rush, part of the Xbox Game Direct, released. The other game was called Redfall. Check that out. That looks like that's going to be Borderlands killing vampires. Best way I can describe that. Check it out. It's going to have a single-player story, 4-player co-op. You're taking on vampires. You have superpowers. It looked pretty dope as well. That was the other one that looked really, really interesting. Yay, Xbox. They did something. Could have done more, but at least we got something from them. Now, I got a straight up DJ. What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on?
Next, man. Welcome. One of our regular viewers and frequent contributor. Always got something to say on the different comments and usually does a pretty good job of keeping us current and making sure, like, whenever something has to be fact checked or whatnot, he's usually right there to let me know where I got something right or got something wrong. So I do appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm usually running around all the way doing everything. So
And so I mean, like he doesn't know it, but he's always kind of been my low-key producer in the background.
oh wow.
Which is why sometimes I'd be like, hey, somebody pull up such and such. And I'd be looking. If he's not on, I don't say that. I'd be like, hold on, let me look. But whenever he's in the stream, I'm like, hey, somebody look up such and such. And he can always send me something that's really helpful, like what he just sent me, which we're going to blow up here in just a second. Because the top 20, like, just say you don't listen to music and be done with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
say this is such a before we even okay, so let me show this bullshit. I'm not even gonna mask that because that's what this is. This right here was garbage. You know how do you know how against that phrase I am?
Yeah,
I don't like to call anything garbage.
I was there for the WandaVision garbage trash rant.
And I take very strong. I have a very strong opinion about calling anything garbage because anytime somebody takes the time to do blah 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 blah. This right here, bruh. Whoever wrote this, no, this was not it, Chief. Like they should be ashamed of themselves. Like the fact that they thought this was okay is a problem.
Yep.
It is absolutely a problem. So this is a list of the top 20 according to who was that? New York Times?
Yep.
Which I feel is kind of like an interesting, that's like getting the IGN top 20 greatest musicians of all time. Like
but it's all of them. It's all of them, and it's like you can't trust any of them to get it right.
Yeah, you can't.
They don't have the same cultural vantage point. You know what I mean? Like it's like this. I tell people all the time, like if people really cared, they would have did something during the pandemic. Like everybody was at home looking for stuff to watch, and instead of watching A Different World, instead of watching Jamie Foxx show, instead of watching, all these Living Single, like you watched Friends again and you didn't watch Living Single, even though you learned on TikTok that like Friends was a Living Single ripoff. This from the same like group of people who are always on top of you about like, oh, do you know the original such and such and blah, 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 artist and comic and this and that. But then when it comes time for like the cultural exchange to go the other way, it's like people don't put the work in. So it's like if you didn't take that time where you literally were begging for stuff to do on a daily basis to reach out and do that kind of work, like you're never gonna do it. And so I've given up on that, like as a larger cultural conversation. I'm sure there's some individuals who can do the work, but it's like you can't have the same comedic like base as me if you didn't watch some of the stuff that I'm talking about. Yeah. Like if I say, oh, you got to coordinate and every black person laugh and you don't know what that's from, like you are missing something, man. And you should be curious enough to try to figure out what that is.
It is the difference between if I look at and I'm trying to think of a good example, like something that I've quoted. You know what? If I grab any kind of stuffed animal and I'd like, don't make me go Martin. Obviously, we talking about the episode where he had like, the whole Nino Brown moment and he had the little fake dog and that was like, that was such a iconic episode.
And to even get that, you had to have seen New Jack City.
You had to see New Jack City. Now, at the same time, if I do that, then of course it's like I can make that joke with some people, but I can't make that joke with other people because they're not going to know what that means.
Yeah,
they're not gonna get that reference.
No, you'll get the he.
You know what I'm saying? If you take your fist and you bump them together like that, if you don't know that that's how Ross and Rachel used to talk to one another when they would like, that's how they cussed each other out, you're not gonna get that reference. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like
there's actually a really joke. There's a good joke in Kimmy Schmidt. Have you? I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I know where she's just like,
we got a whole like Roz Frazier thing going on, and then she starts talking about Living Single, and it's just like, oh, so I'm supposed to know Frazier, but you can't know Living Single, and it's like, even if you weren't locked in a bunker for 15 years, Kimmy Schmidt, you still would not have gotten that reference.
Right.
I did the how much for one wing joke when I first moved up here, and no one got it, and I just shut up and walked away.
Yeah.
How much for one wing? I'll take one wing, and pulls out hundreds. Like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No one got it. I felt dumb.
How about
never tried again?
How about I give you 50 cents? You just pour it in my hand.
You just pour it in my hand.
You know, and it's.
They're like, oh, there's a Martin reference. It's a Martin reference. No.
Right. That's even worse. Just say you don't know what it means, so I can at least explain it to you and put you up. But don't try to act like you know what it means and think you're hip. That gets irritating. But I'm looking at this list right here. The very first thing that just like immediately stands out and catches me immediately off guard. First of all, it says the top 20 of this century. So that means they took 100 years. I don't see anybody.
No. They mean this. They mean this century, as in since the year 2000.
See, I was with Sam because that's what I thought at first too.
Okay,
like the last 100 years. Come on.
No.
It's too early in this century. It's too early in this century to be talking about the top anything.
But even then, I still have a problem with the title and the listing because you can't say the top 20 solo singers and have 2 rappers listed. You know what? I'll give Frank Ocean a pass. He raps and sings. I don't think what Kendrick Lamar does is considered singing. That should not be up there. She's kind of a hybrid also, but probably more singing than rap. But if your number 10 best solo singer is a rapper, you clearly don't know the definition of what you're trying to pick.
I mean, I think it's like one, you got to look at what is the criteria.
And that's all.
I mean, okay, wait. Because here's what I don't like. There are very talented people on this list.
I don't have a problem with it. And
I
will say
I don't know what
solo singers though.
No, but what I'm saying is I don't know what the criteria is, because if it's about
that's
sales,
what it comes down to.
If it's about sales, this makes sense to me.
Even then,
some of them are better songwriters to me than
and if it's about accolades and like Grammy wins and all that stuff and legacy and all that, I kind of get this list too. It's like the first half are the people who are mostly solidified as like icons, up and comers on the next row, except like, I don't know, Rihanna's probably too low. That's where it's like confusing, because it's like, are you judging off of popularity, or are you judging off of vocal ability, or what? Because it's like Bruno Mars feels too low. I know it can't be about record sales, because Taylor Swift definitely wouldn't be number 14. So
Sheeran wouldn't be number 20.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm gonna say this very carefully. Yeah. It's definitely not just about singing ability.
Yeah.
Because of the top 5. I'm gonna just say it like that. I don't want nobody coming for me.
I don't even know who number 5 is, to be honest with you.
No,
but
a lot of people.
Personally,
1 through 4 can sing.
But even liking Sam Smith, I don't think he's number 4.
I gotta hear.
I mean, I will put Bruno Mars ahead of him vocally.
Yeah,
I agree.
See, again,
I would say
I put Ed Sheeran ahead of him vocally.
There's no proper.
I would agree
criteria.
with that as well.
And I think it's got to be about some form of popularity, because there's a lot of like other singers who have, I think, better vocals than some people on this list. Like,
see, I would agree with you on
Daniel
that.
Caesar, like,
I would agree with you on that if the fact that Beyonce is third, because if you want to go off of popularity, she should be first on the list. Now, if we're going off of vocal range, see, that's what made me think. I would put her lower.
You said what?
Beyonce, a lot of people.
3.
Yeah, a lot of people was like, "Oh, Adele and Amy Winehouse is before her." I'm like, "Yeah, they sound."
The reason Adele and Amy Winehouse are before them because they both won Grammys for Album of the Year, and Beyonce has not. That's why I want to know what
That's
the
a good point,
criteria is,
actually.
because it's this mishmash of like popularity, accolades, ability.
Let's just throw
Because
some
then, because
faces
Bruno
up.
should be higher too. He won album
Yeah.
of the year, and I think he a better singer than Lana Del Rey, Frank Ocean, Lady Gaga, Billie Eilish, Kendrick Lamar, Rihanna, and Florence Welch.
Lady Gaga,
And probably
no,
Way
I
As
wouldn't give
Blood,
Lady
if
Gaga.
whoever that is.
It is Florence Welch, the Florence from Florence and the Machine.
Man.
See,
Get it out of here.
I don't know.
You're-
Florence, that
I don't
girl
know,
can
man.
sing.
It was a
He
moment.
said that girl can sing.
Florence
It
can
was a
sing.
moment.
Florence can sing. I would give her props there. She can sing. And again, it's just like I don't like this list. I need more information, and the way that they present that like this,
Well,
this is clickbait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's specifically designed to get exactly what we have
they
happening.
literally they saw the attention that the Rolling Stones list got, and then they put out their own.
As a matter of
Yep.
fact, that Rolling
And Lizzo shouldn't even be up there at all.
Yeah, we could
Not in the top 20 at least.
This is pop. This is why I'm just like, they're not even picking people who like you would hear at like places where I be at. So I'm like, I can't expect to see like my kind of people.
But we
on
put
the list.
Beyonce and Lizzo on the list. You got Frank Ocean, Rihanna, Kendrick. Jeez, what more do you want? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, put some actual good singers on there. Because the problem is, if they really put all the good singers on there, it wouldn't be hardly no white people on the list.
I don't know.
They never gonna make.
Yeah, I don't know about that one either.
No. If they literally did it just off of vocal ability, and you went through and you were just like, okay, listen to this dude sing, and then listen to this dude sing. Like, you're not picking Harry Styles over like Daniel Caesar if you listen to like one of their songs. But like, he got the whole package that comes with him, and he's got the popularity and being a reality contest winner, into boy band stardom, into like he went on the Justin Timberlake train.
Okay, so
Lord.
I'm so let me ask this question though. Like, all right, so are we still talking about of the century, or are we just talking about like
since the year 2000? I think
Since that's what they say. It's supposed to be since the year 2000. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. So yeah, even still, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know.
and I will say that, like, looking at, I definitely think that
no Chris Brown.
But again, like when you but
We're talking about if they're talking about vocals, then I wouldn't
talk
put
about a
Chris Brown.
total package. Where
Bro,
I
you
think-
crazy.
Vocals.
Look, I know he's not somebody who I really want to like cape for heavy.
No. And it's not even
issues.
Not even
Well,
that.
vocally,
I
think
vocally he might be, compared to some of the people on this list. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
He's
he better singing than Frank Ocean.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. Yeah, but I mean, he wouldn't be in the top 20 if they did it correctly.
Jamie
Probably
Foxx
wouldn't be in
better
the-
singing than everybody up here almost.
But would he be?
you know what?
Yeah, you would put him in there for the 2000s. Yeah.
Jamie Foxx's first album came out in like 2001 or 2002. No, his first album came out in like 2004, 2005, because I was in college when Unpredictable came out.
See, and that's one of those moments where it's like, you know what? A lot of people really don't give Jamie Foxx the credit for his vocal talent and vocal ability. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be careful with this, but like, I don't know that I could put him side by side with an Adele and say that
he's got good range. Yeah,
man.
And see, that's the thing. That's the thing.
So we gonna pretend like we ain't all see Adele at the Grammys, mess up and start over. No, we're gonna pretend like in the studio. Cool, do however many takes you need to take, whatever. You ain't gonna see that out of. Imagine Jamie Foxx stopping and restarting on a live performance. Imagine any black singer doing that.
But at the same time, then I feel like that is still kind of like
Because
in a
look,
weird
I've
way.
seen.
Hold on, but
Because
that
I've
feels
seen
like-
Jamie Foxx do piano improv
I get
on
that.
morning television.
But that also feels like that's another instance where you might be not really moving the bar, because now you're talking about a total talent package. If you're just
I'm
talking
talking about being a
vocal,
good singer.
Yeah, we talking about vocally.
The reason she stopped the performance was because she was off key.
and so if she stopped it, adjusted, corrected, and then was on key, and
What
did
I'm
it
saying
right.
is having to stop to get back on key is like
It's
the mark
a-
of like not as good of a singer as somebody who does not have to do that.
But the thing is, how often has she done that?
Yeah, but yeah.
Look how
I
long
don't
she's
care.
been. How long she's been?
No.
How long she's been singing?
You tell me how often she's done it.
No, you can't do that.
I've seen one.
So here's
I've seen
No,
one.
so now you actually moving the goalpost there, because if she did it the one time,
and that's why I'm like,
Okay.
I'm not
He's
letting
right,
you
yeah,
cook,
he's
bro.
right.
I'm
Let's
not
get
letting
a
you
little-
cook. I'm not letting you
okay.
cook, bro. I'm not letting you cook.
Okay.
Nah,
Okay.
bro.
And I
But
get
here's
what
the
you-
okay.
I
But
get
here's
your
the
point.
thing.
I'm
not saying Jamie Foxx.
I did.
I wasn't saying Jamie Foxx is a better singer than everybody on this list.
You,
He's a
no,
better
you
vocalist
did.
than.
No, you did.
No, I didn't. I didn't say everybody
He said-
on the
no, he
list.
did
I
say
said
most.
I
He
said
said
Jamie
most.
Foxx is
said
better
most.
singer than most of the people on this
All
list.
right.
Because I definitely think Beyonce is a better vocalist than him. I probably would put Amy Winehouse in there. I mean, I think people kind of look down on Jamie a little too, because a lot of it feels like because he does the impressions thing too.
Yeah.
But for me, that just means that like
I think having the ability
I
to
see-
sing your way and the way someone else sings
yes,
is just an extra level of talent. But
yeah.
I just think I think a lot of people would
Look,
consider him
I
a
just-
singer because that's not where he sits at.
Look, I just
Even though
didn't
he
like
has
how
an album
Sam.
and everything, they don't see him as a singer. It's more
You know
he's
what?
more of an actor.
I just
saw
didn't
a
like how
video
Sam
today.
tried to like shoot it down so fast, so I had to. I had to
I
ride
right.
for my
Like,
boy
hold on,
Jamie.
wait a minute. And look, and do not get me wrong. I wanted to specifically say that's another moment where you have to like literally you have to set a very specific criteria for the comparison. Now, is Jamie Foxx ultimately more talented than Adele? Hell yeah. He's a better actor.
But
Give that
Okay.
like he would be a triple threat, quadruple threat.
But let me
so to
also
speak.
can I also make a musical case for Jamie Foxx? I think even when we're saying vocalist, we're just reducing it to like stand still at a microphone, project, sing a ballad. Okay, Adele could probably outsing Jamie Foxx on a ballad. Adele can't make no club record like Jamie Foxx can. Adele can't make no slow jam like Jamie Foxx can. Like there's things
Jamie
that
Foxx
he
can't
can
make
do.
a slow jam like he
You
used
crazy.
to. What are you talking about?
I'm not talking about like I'm not saying he got to make one right now, but he can get out there and sing Unpredictable, and everybody gonna be pregnant.
I don't know. You might sound like them people
That's-
from that verses
nah,
when all them R&B artists came out there needed that had a voice check.
How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 38. Well, 39.
See, so you was right in the right era where Unpredictable should have been doing a lot of good things for you back then. When
Yeah,
came
it
out.
was. It was.
Okay, so let's be thankful.
But hold on now. You watch that. You watch the verses now. You watch the verses.
and
Well, all
that
those
is-
R&B, all them
honestly-
R&B artists was up in there thinking they could sing. Ray J and all them.
Bruh, you seen Jamie Foxx sing live. If you've watched any of his comedy specials, he always finished the show singing live at a piano.
I mean, if you just watch him on Jimmy Fallon, he sings.
Him on the
And-
Jamie Foxx show.
Yeah, and
That man
again,
can like sing.
and that's why I say, like, I absolutely agree with you that Jamie Foxx does not get credit for his vocal talent. And because when you say, what was the matter of fact, hell yeah, the last time that conversation even came up was when Jamie Foxx was on Jimmy Fallon. They were doing musical impressions, and I forget who it was. He had
John
to sing
Legend.
black. That was the one. And when I tell you, let me tell you something. First of all, when you talk with John Legend, he sounded better impersonating John Legend than John Legend sounds singing.
Yeah.
Because I've always
I
felt
mean,
like
he did what's his name? Jennifer
Jennifer Hudson.
Hudson before that.
Yeah. And he killed that one too. Okay, so
Yeah.
here's okay. So I got a question for you.
Can you take this list down? It's
Right. It's causing some animosity. All right, so I got a question for you. I was actually having this conversation with somebody the other day because I was at work and
Did we run Jeff off? I think we
no,
did.
he put in the message. He had some Wi-Fi issues. He'll probably be back on. Customer was playing some music in their house, and I Have Nothing came on. Whitney Houston.
Yeah. Powerhouse performance.
And I just kind of glanced over at the customer, and when I tell you, she was like feeling that song. So we got to talking about it. We was kind of joking because she's probably closer to my age and whatnot. So we was kind of laughing about it, and we had a conversation. And she said something that I thought I was the only person that ever felt that way, and I was like, oh my God, now I have a perfect opportunity to bring this conversation up, and I want to get some other opinions. From the Bodyguard soundtrack, I Have Nothing, and I Will Always Love You. I have seen many people cover I Will Always Love You. It seems like everybody can sing that song. I ain't never seen anybody cover I Have Nothing. And when you go back and
somebody probably has.
When you go back and listen to those two songs, when you listen to those two songs, you have to sing very well the entire song on I Have Nothing.
No, Ariana
I Will
Grande
Always
did
Love
it.
You.
I heard that version, but go ahead.
I Will Always Love You. You can kind of like get through the song, and all you have to do is build to that one moment, and you can save that song. And that's everybody's like,
or you can crash and burn.
Or you can crash and burn. Like it's gonna be one of those two moments. And it's like those
because here's the thing. Nobody cares about once we hear that you're singing I Will Always Love You. We don't care about any of all the other stuff is like that's cocktail hour at the wedding. We waiting on like the dance floor to turn up. And that's that one note where she comes back, change key. And I think it's one of those things where it's like it's sad because that's like a really, really beautiful rendition of a very beautiful song. And like everybody's just waiting for that one moment. But I understand it because I used to like not really get it. I'm like, yeah, this is good. And she's singing hard. But then I watched the movie and the moment where she hits that note and it's like they kiss on the tarmac and the camera's like swirling around him like a tornado. And like Whitney's voice is like lifting you up on the wings of love. And you're like, oh, okay. Like I get why women who saw that movie and heard the song that way the first time were like obsessed with it because it's like, yeah, that's crazy. If you like, I just saw it like on a plane. Like imagine seeing that like 80-foot screen. Like it's crazy. So
I think row M.
I think about songs like that all the time where it's like the epicness of the popularity kind of makes people forget about how good the song. Like I think about like Thriller like that the same way because when you think Thriller, it's like just the video.
I was about to say, you didn't think about the music. It is more about that 17-minute short film. And
then it's just like I always tell people, I was like, you should just go somewhere and just like listen to Thriller like on some headphones, like some over-the-ear headphones, and just like listen to that shit. And it's gonna be crazy to like listen to it without the video.
Yeah, it's
first of all, the subject matter is dope because you really really Michael is just talking about taking the girl to a scary movie so she can be like scared and jump in his lap. Right. Like that's the most like Grease Malt Shop, Archie Riverdale shit ever.
It's a cornball move, but works.
Yeah,
it works because that's the thing. I've sat through movies that I did not want to see simply because I knew that it was going to allow us that opportunity to be close and cuddly and cozy. And scary movies would have been the perfect movie for that. I will probably be in theaters to watch Megan just for that same reason, for the little jump scare moment.
It was okay.
I can't do it.
It did good enough for them to already greenlit a sequel. So
what is the sequel already?
Yeah.
I mean, if they already like greenlighting a sequel, then that kind of tells me more about the movie than I need to know. Dang. Okay, so
yeah.
That's That's a little bit of a spoiler. Not really a shocker, but a little bit.
I mean, you kind of got to just expect that with horror movies.
Oh,
it's just like
me saying that is not a spoiler. You're good.
I mean, it's just if I hear that if a movie like Megan is out, and DJ, I think your mic is
Catch a wind.
Mike, very crunchy.
It's like it's brushing your cheek. That's what it was. But if I hear a movie like Megan already has greenlit a sequel, I know that the android doesn't die at the end of the movie. I know that they don't escape it. The software program goes to the cloud and they go make another one, or it's going to be a whole factory of them that's already ready to roll out, and somebody just got to hit the button type shit. And so it's like I see where the sequel could be set up in the movie before I even seen it. I've watched too many movies and it's like, damn. Okay, so it'll be one of three possible scenarios, and I just gave you two.
I mean, somebody told me before I saw it, like,
it doesn't.
That it set up one.
Yeah.
So that wasn't me. That wasn't them telling me that it was going to actually become a sequel. But
yeah, I mean, any good movie should leave themselves an opportunity to make a second story. Unless it's like there's probably some things that don't need a sequel, but I think if you create an original IP, you come out with something new, and I'm air quoting new because the concept behind Megan doesn't totally feel new.
It's Chucky,
right? I was about to say it feels
Twilight Zone.
It feels kind of done before, but
yeah.
This is a different twist on it, so we'll see how that goes. And honestly, I even feel like there was something like that in Black Mirror that was on Netflix. It was the episode with Miley Cyrus's voice. But
yeah. Well, I mean, that's why Chucky got pissed off and started cursing her out, and they had a little beef on Twitter when her movie came out. But it was because his show was on, and she was promoting her movie right before it came out. So he was talking. He was talking.
Okay, boomer. So I don't know. Like
they be frying people with that. People be trying to pretend like that don't bother them, but I know it do.
Yeah, deep down, you hit somebody with an okay boomer. I mean, it's just one of those things. That's like, it's funny because every time I say that, my phone looks up. Like, why does my phone respond to that? That's crazy.
I don't know.
But like okay, boomer. Yeah, my phone is looking up. I got to change that. That's some bullshit right there. That's supposed to respond to that. We're not that old. We're Elder Geek Sam, not Boomer Sam. That's bogus. But no. So like to me, that's one of those songs, and I do appreciate the point there, Jeff, as far as like how that fit in the movie to make it more powerful. But I still think that just in terms of song talent and ability, I Have Nothing is still a more powerful song than I Will Always Love You.
I think it's like a much better song by like a lot. But I was just saying, like, I get it.
Right. No, and that breakdown kind of helped.
It's like the power of cinema.
Right. And most times
always said Nicole Kidman, this is cinema.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
To the cinema.
It's funny because it's like every time I go in, I just look at her and I'm like, why do you look like that? But it's just, I don't know. I've seen it in too many movies. It looks weird. But yeah, I mean, that is absolutely the power of cinema. And every time I hear that song, like I literally have frisson when I hear I Have Nothing, and I have like no reaction to I Will Always Love You. One, it's been done to death, and the song has just been running to the ground because everybody sings it. So it doesn't even have the same effect that it used to have. And I think that's, even when I was looking at that list, that's probably the problem, because there's a number of those songs that, maybe you can connect with at a certain point. But even for the 2000s, I mean, that's still 20 years of artists who have put out different stuff that are more than just that list. And there's a lot of better people than just what was on that list. And even Rolling Stones list was ridiculous. But I think it goes back to what you said earlier, as far as like not having regardless of how you judge it, it still has a little bit of individual bias in your judgment. When you set the criteria, when you set the standard, there is a bias that's in place because of your
what you
level
know
of
and your
understanding.
lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's just like you have a lack of knowledge, and yet you are tasked with helping us answer like cultural debates when you don't have like an actual sound cultural like foothold on anything that actually like resembles why and how these things are created. You know what I mean? It's like Rolling Stone is a rock and roll publication that is a musical art form created by black people, and like that's not a black publication. You know what I mean? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is not like a black institution. You know what I mean? Like it's
they have some inductees, but it wasn't formed with that in mind.
well, and it's like then you hear all the people who just like they complain about the lack of representation of like hip hop, and I'm just like, why do we even care about that? Why do we even care about like whether they legitimize us or not through those institutions? It's like if you don't recognize it, like there are plenty of people who do recognize it and appreciate it, and we don't necessarily always have to be like up in arms about a Rolling Stones list, because it's like if you tell me you think Michael Jackson is the 86th greatest singer of all time, you're already telling me that you don't know anything about singing whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like there's people who weren't even included on that list that I forgot. And it's just like, this is telling me that you either don't know anything about singing or you just haven't heard enough singing to make a call like this. Like you just, you haven't.
Like somebody looked at the top 100 artists of this decade and just went ahead and picked their favorites. That's exactly what it was.
And it's like, that's fine, but just make it, these are my 100 favorite singers, and say that, and stop trying to act like it's a definitive list. Because the reason that's why people get all like up in arms for the things and the accolades, because as much as like I don't want them to have to matter, it's like it matters for Viola Davis to be able to say Oscar winner Viola Davis. That changes her check, that changes her life, that changes the amount of power that she has. But partially that's because we've chosen to like buy into the systems for so long, rather than like, why don't we regard the NAACP Image Award with the same respect as like that community would judge the Oscars? This is our award that we created. We vote on it however our people say we vote on it. And yet it's, and you know, why don't we value the BET Awards, Soul Train Awards the way?
I got an answer. You're not gonna be happy about the answer. You already know the answer to the question you're asking. Like
the question is rhetorical. The answer is horrible. Shout out to our man Talib Kweli.
Right. Like, do you want me to answer? Because the very first thing that, you know what I'm saying, and I don't say this to be funny, but just like you said, it's gonna be the check. Because if you get that placement, if you get 4 mics in the source, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to be the same as making that Rolling Stones top 20.
Yeah.
The outreach and the expanse, the notoriety that comes with that, it's that recognition, it's that acceptance. Because there's going to be, rest assured that just like that New York Times, there's going to be somebody that plays a Kendrick Lamar album because he's top 20 now. They read the New York Times and they see that, and now Kendrick Lamar gets an additional play on Spotify. Frank Ocean gets an additional play on Spotify. Or they don't skip that track on this playlist that was curated by whoever. They like this one song, and so they just let it play whatever it plays as a result. Because let me tell you something. When I go into my Spotify or my Pandora back in the day, or I'm sure Apple does something similar, you like a song, you like an artist, you like an album, and you can play tracks based on that like. I can play it based on the album. I can play it based on the song. I can play it based on the artist. And right now, the mix that I have for my Thundercat, like play music based on this artist, Thundercat Radio, is fire. I'm getting a whole bunch of new stuff I had never heard before.
Sam, we got to talk, baby. I could put you on.
Oh no.
I love Thundercat.
Like, I have all of those albums. I have like a whole playlist for that.
I'm gonna send you my Mixcloud so you can listen to some of my mixes.
That'll work. I do want to know about that last mix you posted. I just saw it and I was like, I kept clicking and it kept going to the next thing. I was like, this is not a link. Damn it.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, no, that's on my SoundCloud. So I used to make beats when I was like in middle school and stuff. My cousins in New York taught me. They were rappers and they had like all this stuff. So I've always like
shout out to the Co-Ink.
Yeah,
I got two cousins up in Philly. That's what they do. Sammy Doms and Rob Incredible, co-champs, now known as Co-Ink. That'll be our future intro music. Will be coming from them. So
yeah. So I just been working on like making like house edits of some like R&B tracks that I like. So I did one from like A. Marie's debut album, which is super underrated. And then I did a house edit of Brandy's Angel in Disguise. So I just posted those on my SoundCloud. It's JPNT17 on everything. So if you like house music, check it out. If you don't, probably not for you. I'll just be upfront about that.
So I mean, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm very much into, like, I have such a diverse musical palette that I like to hear new stuff. I want to hear music that I've not heard before. And I think Jeff, you know what, Jeff, you already follow my Spotify. I think we're friends on Spotify, so I will send you my Thundercat playlist. That's pretty cool. But I mean, like, I got into so much stuff. I mean, hell, I don't know if y'all remember, but like when I posted my Spotify listening, I was in like the top 11%. Like, I'm always listening to music, and I do listen to a lot of the same stuff a lot, because if I like it, I like it. I will play that shit till I don't like it no more. But I'm also like always trying to click on something to play a whole album based on, give me a whole playlist based on this one song.
Yeah.
And try to
like my personal station on my Apple Music is like, it's getting there. I'm trying to like infuse some more stuff in there, but like my R&B settings right now is crazy. I just got to get. I've been on a kind of late 80s, early 90s like boom bap like tip right now. Been listening to like X-Clan and Houdini.
You're not in Atlanta no more, are you?
Huh?
Are you in Atlanta still?
He's back.
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta.
Are you in Atlanta?
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you some information about the next boom bap event that's out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'll be listening to that stuff and I'm like, man, I actually had this conversation with my grandmother, and I was like, the fact that like the previous generation just like looked at hip hop and was just like, no, just like across the board, no. You know what I mean? Like, we all know the radio stations would be like, all the hits, none of the rap. And it wasn't just like pop stations, it was like R&B stations. And they were just like, or then it was like V103 was like, okay, we'll play rap after 6:00. But like no rap workday was still like a thing. And I'm just like, there's so much rap y'all could have like positively promoted and like mixed in, but like now it's like nowhere for that rap to even live. Like, you can't really turn on the radio station. Like, they keep trying to make old school rap stations, but it's like nobody just wants to listen to old school rap all day. You got to have old school rap and R&B of the same era, because it's all like we was all listening to that music all together, not like separated. So, those stations still don't like. You telling me you can't play Tribe Called Quest on Kiss 104? Like, who is that hurting?
Man, they have they same 10 songs just like all the other stations, and they just play them over and over.
No, I'm talking about like back in the day, and so now it's like there's all this music where it's just like nobody knows what it is. I be talking to my little sister. She like 26. She don't be knowing what none of this stuff is. I'm like, fam, what happened? She's like, we don't be listening to this. I'm like, it's nowhere, you know. And then 106 in Park started playing old school songs of the day from like 2003. So it's like, well, shit.
The old school song that came out yesterday. I mean, I don't know. I guess when some music comes out, you kind of know right away that it's going to be a classic, so to speak. It's gonna stand the test of time and have that sound.
All right, think about this. How old were you when you heard the song "Stakes Is High" by De La Soul for like the first time? Just like roughly.
Early teens. You got to remember, I'm old.
And like what? And like roughly. No, I'm saying. And roughly, what year was that? Like, would that be like when it came out? Or would that be?
It would have been. It would have been a little. It would have been.
Yeah.
It would have been a little later. Like I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend like I was just like super up. Yeah, and I think that's where that kind of comes from because I remember back in time. Okay, so I'm a really
before you go on that tangent. I'm gonna say why I asked you that. Okay. The reason I asked you that is because it like you didn't hear it when it came out. It's something that you like discovered in adulthood, like or in teenagehood, probably either on your own or like just hearing it from like an older cousin or somebody like that. But like I think about songs like that, and I'm just like, why is that not like? why would I not hear that on the radio? Considering some of the other rap that I was hearing on the radio, you know what I mean? And so then it's like, because I'm the same way. I didn't hear that song for the first time until I was like 18. And it's like, I could have used this like growing up. And so now I'm trying to go back and trying to find all this stuff. And it's like, you know, Boogie Down Productions, they literally rapping like Black History projects. And I'm just like, this is what y'all wanted us to do. But then like when they did it, y'all were like, still no. And it's like, all right, well.
See, the funny thing is I remember V103 used to be more akin to like B98.5.
Uh-huh.
And I became familiar with like DJ over there mixing. Look at him working right now. I remember like that's where I became familiar with like Phil Collins was because of V103. You know what I'm saying? I mean, granted, I was a much younger person then. You know, when I was a kid, Mike Roberts in the morning. Yeah.
Hey, was that on V103 back then? Yeah.
Yeah. Like you could everything that you hear now on like, okay, so the collection of music, the way you hear it on Star 94 or B98.5, if you took those two and kind of mashed them together, that's how V103 played. It was mostly pop music, and they would have a sprinkling of all genre so that everybody could feel like there was something for them to listen to. And it really was quite inviting. They didn't become hip hop and R&B until like sometime later. And
I say like the early 2000s.
No. It was R&B like in the 90s. And then in the like later 90s, once Hot 97.5 came,
right, they incorporated
Hot 97 was like we playing rap all day,
right,
and R&B, and it was because everybody knew about Hot 97 in New York. So once we got our own, it was like all the young people started going over there, and V103 was like, all right, we got to open up this like no rap during the day thing.
Yeah, and see, and it was like, you know, like
even Kiss 104 was playing LL Cool J. I was like, man, Tom Jordan.
For me, it was always like The Quiet Storm with Joyce Littell. That was when you got your
relate.
That was relax, relate, release, and unwind with The Quiet Storm. Joyce Littell, like I
think they just brought it back.
When they used to have the poetry people on Sundays,
man,
that was me trying to be a fake ass Love Jones.
Bro, I got a whole notebook upstairs. I thought I was getting.
I want to say I'm sorry to all the girls who I wrote poetry to.
I would say, you know what?
It was.
My shit must not have been that bad. I got married to her, so like the only person I wrote stuff out for, she stuck with me. So my shit must not have been too bad. But it is, you know, or maybe she was. I don't know. Maybe my wife was lame as hell, and I just got lucky. I don't know. But I was like definitely not good with the poetry bit. So that was a quick release. But
I used to write poetry for people to give to their girlfriends like Valentine's Day and stuff. I would like make custom greeting cards.
Yeah,
that was my hustle.
I mean, I've ghost written. All right, I'm about to let some of the secrets out the bag. In high school, I wrote the pickup notes that my homie would pass to his girl. So I like when I tell you I was like Hitch before I even knew what Hitch was. I would like write the note and be like, all right, there. Say those things how you would say them. Like write that like you would write it. Basically, you can copy that, but change some words so it sounds like you. And I would see the homies get hooked up with their chicks and they would get together. And you know what I'm saying? It would be my words that made that happen. And it was
Cyrano.
You know what I'm saying? It was my mouthpiece that made them relations work. So at some point I discovered that, you know what? I could just not tell them what to say and say that myself. And guess what? So, all right, folks, that's all the time we have tonight. On that note, we're going to change that subject. But yeah, like the when I was listening to V103 and all of the different songs that I would hear and the different bands and the music, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, granted, I first got introduced to music because didn't have access to television. You know, you're a little kid. I didn't have a TV in my room when I was a kid. So it was like I had a radio. So of course I was always on that radio, and it was like I would hear things, and it was like, yo, I like that. And of course, just like every other kid, I had my notebook and my pencil, and I was writing down the lyrics to songs, and I was recording music and making my own playlists. And you know, I was one of those kids in the '80s who was making mixtapes for people and this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? You like this girl, bam, you're gonna make her a mixtape, and it'll tell her everything you want to know because you got all the right songs. And knowing how to put together and cultivate a playlist so that it flows and moves, and like you take them from this song to that song to this song to that song. Everybody who made those kind of tapes is a low-key DJ. We know where the vibe goes and how to get it from point A to point Z. Not taking anything away from those of you today, like my man right here, because I've watched some of his footage. He be having them crowds moving. And I couldn't do that. I would not be able to like just get up there. I'd be like, y'all finna listen to what I like, and hopefully you like it too.
Man, if you see my face when I want to be in that mode, and I'm just like, what the hell am I playing right now? But they be jumping out of like, okay.
I mean, and that's the thing. You got to be able to know how to read the crowd and read people and be able to find that connection with music. And I think music is one of the few things that, you know, can actually do that. And it's kind of funny because when you don't have that diverse a palette, if you only like for people who only listen to rap, you would have had a problem with hearing, and I'm gonna be real controversial. Here's a hot take. You had a problem with Lil Nas X right from the jump because he had Billy Ray Cyrus on the track. That's a fire ass song. It's always been a fire song. That's why 5-year-olds was singing the song, because the shit is catchy as hell.
Yep.
Catchy as hell.
And then
but they liked all his a lot of his little stuff. What was that second single he came out with? That like it's not as popular, but a lot of kids in high school.
Oh, Panini.
Yeah, they love that. I used to get them riled up with that. I was like,
I mean, Panini,
why? I was like, why?
Industry baby. Like when you listen to, it's like somebody like
industry
that,
baby, industry baby still go rock. It's that rocks.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But that's my point. It's like it doesn't follow any of the traditional rules of like what type of where do you have that music classified as? Where does Lil Nas X fall?
For
Pop
me,
rap.
pop rap, yeah.
Pop rap. See, to me, it's almost like it's just pop. Because if you listen to some other people who are just pop, they have the same flow, the same delivery. But because his name is Lil Nas X, it's also rap.
But I think pop is literally just like the white version of a lot of black music, to be honest with you. Like 80s pop and new wave, really, like the reason why so many black people like new wave is just because it's R&B, but they playing it on synthesizers.
Yep.
A lot of them songs. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
why Hall & Oates still get the love.
You can mix the whispers into Duran Duran Hungry Like a Wolf like easily. You know what I mean? And people gonna be like,
what you know about that? What you know about
bro,
that?
Come on, man. Don't play with me, all right?
Don't play
with me, man. You know what I'm saying?
You take Simply Red, Duran Duran, Hall & Oates.
So yeah, it's like
all of that. Like that whole little Breakfast Club clique was just like still.
And so that was still indicative. It was still like basically the same thing as like the R&B that was going on at the time, because you got the Whispers, the Deal, Shalimar, like all those kinds of bands doing like whatever like the come down from the high of disco is in the 80s. Even like Stevie Wonder going synth on N Square Circle. And it's kind of just like, then you go into the 90s. I mean, you trying to tell me that like all those boy bands are not just like fake New Editions and fake Boys to Men's, like, and
hey, you
like
can't
Britney Spears.
Call New Edition a boy band. I heard somebody say that. They say don't call them a boy band.
New Edition is the blueprint. Even if they don't want to be called a boy band, they are the blueprint for the modern day non-family boy band.
Yep.
Well, it went from Menudo Temptations, and Menudo falls as we need a Puerto Rican New Edition. They was like New Kids on the Block. We need a white New Edition. BTS. We need a Korean New Edition. Like they see the power of that group, the diversity. You bringing in the huge fan base because the girls don't have to fight over the guy because it's a guy for everybody.
Whatever type of guy you like, they got one.
Exactly. And
they always have sing
like, well enough.
Oh, it's so pissed. Like that's the one thing that Family Guy, American Dad spoofed. Boy 13, Boy 12. And it was like,
even if you watch
a roll call, I'm Steve. I'm the one that can sing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other Bob's 11 Burger. Boys, right. And the other 11 boys were just random boys who were there for a reason.
Yeah.
And one of the boys was actually a girl. Like, that shit was hilarious.
So, yeah, it's like, I mean, you telling me that, like, Britney Spears wasn't just, like,
I think
them trying to create Janet Jackson?
Every fourth Wednesday is going to be a music show.
That's fine with me.
I like this idea. Because we need, like, I didn't have a topic for fourth Wednesday. We have first Wednesday, second Wednesday, third Wednesday. Fourth Wednesday is going to be our geek outlet. So music can be it if somebody wants to come on here, because I like to cook too. So whatever that other thing you geek out about, that can be it'll probably be music most times because I love music. So, but it could be that other thing. So yeah, I'm just making that note for myself. But yeah. I mean, what were some of the other influence? You know what? We got 30 minutes. Do we need to go back and cover this BS from the Oscars, or do we kind of have that out?
My point was after Oscars. I get it. I get why the black actors have to like try to do it and go through all that, but I think we should be trying to make more efforts to just like appreciate and elevate our own institutions and honor our heroes that way.
When the NAACP Image Awards and the BET Awards hold as much weight as an Oscar, it
should to us.
It should to us, yeah,
but us is not the entire financial market or the financial base.
I understand that.
and that is
But
the only.
It's got to start somewhere. You know
Only
what I mean?
But see, they even have their own institutions where they don't even hold like.
If you get a Screen Actors Guild Award,
that's the thing. That's the thing. A lot of people like. Yeah,
that's a plus because you could have an Oscar, but if you get that Screen Actors Guild Award, that means that like the Oscar is basically the popularity contest, and the Screen Actors Guild Award means your ass can actually do the thing you do. And I think that is a testament in-house, you know, and I think perhaps past that, the only award that really, I'm not going to say holds weight, but it's not even an award for those people who are EGOTs. Those people, because it's not a lot of those people. Those people are the talents, and the EGOTs are the people who have an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. So not as many people have that option because that means you have to be able to act, sing, dance, because you got to do Broadway, you got to be in movies, you got to do John Legend is example, and just like we was talking shit about John Legend earlier, he's one of those people who has every one of those awards, and so he's an EGOT, and not a lot of people. As a matter of fact, let me see. EGOT.
Okay, Jeff, you gotta make some of this stuff
17.
Downloadable so I could go ahead and put this in one of my shows.
What?
Some of this stuff on your SoundCloud. That Brandy sound, that should sound fine. I ain't gonna
appreciate it. I gotta redo it. I'm gonna make it longer, and I'm gonna add like a better. I'm gonna add I didn't want to overpower it with the snare, so I only have it on like every other beat, but I think I need it on every down beat. But yeah,
there is one very important thing to mention, and I only bring this up because we were talking about it. Viola Davis is already an EGOT winner, and
she's still clamoring for the respect that she deserves. So that's my point too. It's like even when you get it, you don't get. I mean, there's so many videos of Viola Davis on stage and in roundtables talking about how everybody just talks and talks and talks about how great she is, but it doesn't have the impact for her that it does for other people. I mean, like, why do we see more of Jennifer Lawrence than we do of her? Jennifer Lawrence is a fine actress, but it seems like people seem to be more willing to create opportunities for her. Actress. That's why I said fine actress. I don't think she knocks everything out of the park. But when she gets in her groove, she does her thing. And
she does really well in roles that are made for her.
Yeah. But it's like, I just see her. There's just some ways that I just can't see her. And I'm just like,
We have to get on another movie tier maker. We gotta find a category to make a tier maker list for some more movies because we go through a lot of movies here, and I think because we watch so many movies and we consume so much media, you know, it's like when you it's funny that you pick somebody like Jennifer Lawrence, who, like, I have a very interesting, for lack of a better phrase, relationship with Jennifer Lawrence, because I don't really think she's a great actress, but I do really like her in like 2 movies. And I don't know that anybody else could have done those movies.
What is that?
Okay, so I like her in the second Hunger Games movie.
Yeah, she did her thing in that.
The first one was kind of like anybody could have been that, and it would have been fine. I don't really feel like she was there was a lot happening. It was whatever.
World building.
Right. The second movie, she stood out as the character in that movie. And the third one was kind of like they were closing it out. A lot of shit was happening.
Yeah.
So it
Let's
didn't
just get it out.
Forth.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Well, I still counted as one. It was part 1 and 2, but yeah. Exactly.
But that's my point. Yikes.
They just stretched that shit out. But the second one was definitely like she nailed it. That was her role. And believe it or not, I was actually quite convinced in Red Sparrow. So here's why. Although it was generic actress does thing in movie, there was a certain amount of like not giving a shit that needed to be in there. And she was still a young enough actress. She was still a new enough face to give that. Because Red Sparrow is nothing more than La Femme Nikita or any other like spy comes back to get revenge type story. It ain't nothing super duper original. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really, I mean, it's been out more than long enough, not, spoiler or nothing, but like the little twist right there at the end, you see that shit coming a mile away. So it really doesn't matter who's in that role. The story isn't going to change. But it works for her because you can't use a Kate Mara. You can't use a Mila Jovovich. You can't use a Scarlett Johansson. It has to be somebody believable in that role. And honestly, I think Jennifer Lawrence was probably the only person at the time who would have been believable in that role. Either that or maybe some unknown. But then you would have to have enough other big names around that production to get it released in theaters. So I give her credit for Red Sparrow as being the movie that like they could not have done that movie without her. But I kind of feel like J-Law could almost be replaced in everything else she's done.
Exactly.
But it's like it's kind of like
a lot of people are interchangeable like that, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how the industry is built. It's built to just be like create a role where if we can't get our first guy, we got 5-6 guys lined up behind that. And it's the same thing with Jennifer Lawrence. It's like she's not about to be the last one. They got Dove Cameron and Haley Steinfeld and what's homegirl from Game of Thrones. The cast of Barely Lethal.
We have to have that. Everybody know that's a good. Thank you for the reminder. We will be coming. How many more Sunday? How many more?
Don't be hot, Indonesia.
No, I will reach out to her I will reach out to her this weekend to remind her because I think we are coming up on. Where the hell's my calendar app? I need to look at the calendar just to be sure because I think we are coming up on. Yep. Next Wednesday, first Wednesday. Why did I watch that? Barely Lethal. So that is on my watch list this weekend.
Oh Lord, how did I find it?
I think it's on HBO Max.
If it is on HBO Max, that's where I have it queued up. And so Barely Lethal. David, you gonna be in on that? Barely Lethal?
It's better than Birdemic.
Everything is better than Birdemic, man. I don't think there's anything as bad, except maybe Birdemic 2. Birdemic 2 might, but we upgraded from coat hangers to like brooms. So, it's a thing. But yeah, I mean, I can definitely see how it is set up so that it is very difficult if you make a movie with a specific person intended for that movie and you don't get that person, because there's always a possibility that you don't get that person. And if you don't get that person, then how do you proceed?
How do you pivot? Yeah.
Because it's like I can't imagine. Like I actually.
But I think I would say then that's a testament to like right characters that can be played by a multitude of different people that aren't necessarily like held down by something where it's like the guy has to look exactly like the other guy because I just wrote it that way. Like even going back to like Hunger Games, the way Peeta is described in the book is not who they cast. Peeta is supposed to be like big and like brawny
I mean, the
And
whole aspect of him being able to like throw the boulders and what I mean.
yeah, and it's like they had to shoot that whole movie from like the waist below just to so we
Because
wouldn't notice
homeboy,
that
like,
Jennifer Lawrence was taller than him, and it's
right?
like we
Because
still
homeboy pretty
saw it.
short.
Yeah,
I mean, I used to like have this idea that I was going to make movies, and I mean, I'm sure you all have. If you've watched our channel for any length of time, you always see how it comes back to movies for me. I know Jeff and I have written about 3 movies. Me, Jeff, and Ty have created another 3 movies. I got like 6 movies right here ready to be made, and scripts. We could pump out a script. I'm sure of that. We damn sure got a Back to the Future. We have 3 Back to the Future movies. We can make that shit into our own trilogy. We have a Fantastic Four movie. We have completely redone
Black
the DC.
Fantastic Four.
The Black Fantastic Four. Honestly, I won't
They
even
tried that already.
I won't even put that caveat on it. I think our Fantastic Four movie and the cast that we have set up is just a Fantastic Four movie. It will fit in one of the multiverse universes and it will work. And it'll be a damn good movie on top of that. We had a stellar cast. Check out the TikTok if you want to see that. Click that QR code there. You can actually follow us on all our socials right there. Find out everywhere we are. Make sure to subscribe. We appreciate that. Really does help us out. But go check out the TikTok and see where we break down like our cast for the Fantastic Four. It started off a little goofy and that shit turned into a real fucking movie. And I was like kind of hyped about it. So we decided to base a whole series around it. And that's our fan casted. Check out last week's episode. We talk about Back to the Future. But no, I mean, like, because we've come up with so many different movie ideas and things like that, I used to like write down very small movie ideas. And way back in so I read this book back in 1997 called The Bourne Identity by Robert Ludlum. And I was like, yo, this is dope. This would be fantastic. This should be a movie. Has anybody ever heard of Project Greenlight?
I want to say I have.
So Project Greenlight was an initiative put forth by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
I'm Matt Damon.
After the success of their the movie they did with Robert Williams and like how about these apples? What is that? I cannot think of the name of this
Good
movie.
Will Hunting.
Thank you. After Good Will Hunting, the success they had with that movie and everything, they opened up their own production company and blah 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 blah. Project Greenlight was an initiative designed to help new writers and creators and yada, yada, yada. I submitted an idea. And the idea I submitted was like, hey, here's a really good story by a really good author who's written a bunch of books that should get made. And I got one of those. I don't have it now. It's been some years. It's been 20 plus years. I got one of those like, thank you for your submissions. Unfortunately, at this time, you were not the winner, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Fast forward a couple of years later, let me get the math on this right, because it was one of those things I felt some kind of way about it for a long time.
Sam, are you trying to tell us that you gave Matt Damon the idea for the Bourne Identity?
I'm just saying I made a submission to Project Greenlight in 2000, and in 2002, Matt Damon was in a movie called The Bourne Identity.
Matt Damon stealing from Black creators. That's the
I'm
headline.
just saying. Now, here's the crazy thing. It's not like I can take credit for the original idea because, first of all, Richard Chamberlain starred in a made-for-TV movie based on the book. And the whole Bourne Identity is based on a book by Robert Ludlum. So my little letter, they could like literally pretend like they never got my shit. They still got to get the rights to the book, blah, 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 blah. They never have to mention me at all. Shit still gets made. Bourne Identity ends up being like a $215 million success on a $50 million budget. Not that I just know those numbers off top. You know what I'm saying? Not that I've paid any attention to the success of this trilogy for its entire run, even though it doesn't actually stay to the actual story in the book. They went like far left with that shit. That's cool. What they did with the story is what they did. It's one of those things.
5 feet apart because they're not gay.
This is like the nerd version of when your uncles talk about their old playing days.
Yeah, I hope it does.
Hey, bro, I actually have
that.
I used to play with Dr. J.
No. I
You
actually have
remember me?
I have a Facebook post from when I was a manager at Radio Shack. I have a Facebook post from when I was a manager at Radio Shack, and that post says I was going to create this company called Your Meals, My Wills, because I would be at work and could not get delivery from the places that I wanted to eat, and because I was a store manager, couldn't leave until somebody came in to relieve me. Because I was in one of the highest volume stores, I was like, yo, there should just be delivery. I was like, you know what? Somebody should just like go pick, like I should be able to call in an order and somebody just go pick that up for me. I have a whole Facebook post about it. I came up with the idea for like Uber Eats and DoorDash and all of that shit. That was my idea.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only person that's ever thought of that.
Clearly not, because I think the person who started Uber Eats also.
I mean, who's to say they didn't see my damn post? All I'm saying is like you can look at this timestamp on that post and see that it was before any of that shit existed. That's all I'm saying.
So what you're saying is
I have
you need
good
to
ideas.
actually start executing on your ideas.
That is all I'm saying.
You have $1 million ideas.
I have good ideas. I'm not saying anybody stole anything from me. I'm not saying Matt Damon took my idea. That is not what I'm saying. I am simply saying I had an idea and that shit came to fruition.
All right.
He didn't get paid from it.
What movie idea are you writing first?
Well, the first movie idea I came up with, they've kind of already made starring Jack Black. It's called Be Kind Rewind.
Okay. Well, let's move on.
All right. So yeah, I got to come up with a new one.
Yeah,
I got to come. I actually have, like, you know what? All jokes aside, I am not going to say anything more, but I do have an original idea, a fresh concept for.
All right, we about to start doing the Sam script check-in every week.
I have not. No, I have the story. If we're going to start writing a script, then I need to know that we're actually going to be writing the script.
I'm not talking about us right now. I'm talking about checking in with you on your progress.
Right. I have the idea for the movie. I need someone to write my script. I will help flesh out the story. I know what I want to have happen. I will help with the dialogue.
Or you could just make a pitch deck.
There we go.
Where it's just like you put together a little PDF explaining the movie, who your ideal casting would be, story.
That part I can
put that together.
That part is what I have.
Okay.
That's what I have. I don't have the whole like somebody got.
All right, so you got to organize it now.
So I'm gonna get an email from you later, is what I'm hearing. That's what I heard.
An email from me.
Yeah, because I need to know how to do all that shit you just said. Like,
organize.
Look, here.
I'm gonna tell you this. No, they literally have pitch deck tutorials and pitch deck like templates. You can literally Google pitch deck template. Go in, they have different ones. They have like horror movie theme ones, sitcom, all kinds of decks that you can just download, and then you just plug your pictures and your information in. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy, baby.
But see, I didn't even know pitch deck was a thing. I thought I had to come with a whole like 300-page notebook to say, because every time
because look, this is the thing, they buy the story idea and then they'll pay somebody else to write the script. Now it's not gonna look like what your story is probably by the end of it, but who cares?
Okay, so
that's not why we do this.
So check this out. Be Kind, Please Rewind it is the crazy part is the shit stars Jack Black, and my idea was like starring Jack Black, because at the time it was like Jack Black was my idea of what like the geek or the nerd looks like.
Yeah, comic book store man.
But he wasn't. Okay, so thinking about him from High Fidelity, where he was like, he has that look, but at the same time, he could also like pass for normal, so to speak. I was like, he would be the ideal person, and it was the general concept was Geek saves the world through movie trivia knowledge, right? That was the basic concept. Now from there, it fleshed out to say that okay, this is how long ago the shit was. This guy worked at Blockbuster. Because he worked at Blockbuster, and of course, me being a former employee of Blockbuster, I remember like we used to get free movie rentals, and we would get to watch movies before they came out at Blockbuster, before we would actually release them on the shelves. That way, we could actually talk to the customers and tell them about it. Same thing with other places I've worked. We would get games before they came out. That way, we could play the game and be able to talk to customers about it. I'd be BioShock before that shit even released, but. But anyway, so you have this video store clerk. He's like the manager there. His life is this video store. Everything has to be just right. He loves it. All he does is watch movies. He spends all his time right in there. Maybe it was an alien invasion. I don't know. Something happens where terrorists are taking over and whatnot, and we get to see him recreate all these moments and all these scenes from other classic movies. He knows how it's going to play out because he saw that in a movie. So there'll be the moment where like he gets to something and so you take iconic movie scenes like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, where Indiana Jones has the sandbag and he like sets the sandbag down at the same time he picks up the idol. You know what I'm saying? You have a moment like that. You take a moment like The Matrix, where Neo does the little back bend and the bullets fly past him. That's the third time you picked up that glass. It's empty.
No, it's not. It's a piece of ice in there.
Oh, that's okay. I'm like, there's no liquid. There's no liquid. Okay.
Yeah, now it's ice.
But it's like
you know what this is?
What was that?
You know what it's kind of like? You know what it would make a good version of? Like those Star Trek episodes where like they get trapped in the holodeck, and the holodeck is like giving them like
scenarios.
There's a famous one from
they have to
Next Generation where they're
moments.
they're like stuck in like the Robin Hood story, and then there's like one of the AIs in the story. I think it's like Sherlock Holmes or somebody like figures out that he's like an AI and like tries to leave the and there's actually a Lower Decks episode that's kind of like that, where like they're trying to like trap. They basically they build their own movie, and then you just go, you're a character like in the movie, and you're trying to like complete like the mission. So it could be funny if it was like he gets abducted by aliens and they're testing their holodeck on him, instead of testing it with like a lower species, like how we like put monkeys and make them run through mazes.
Right. You know what? And see,
this.
that's the part of it that needed to make sense to me, because in my head, it was like, you take the moment, like, and of course I had like all these scenes written out, and not even like, I literally just said, I made a list of all the scenes that I wanted to have like a parody of, or I wanted to recreate using Jack Black to do the scene. So in Die Hard, where he looks at like right towards the end, he's got like 2 bullets left. He has the gun taped to his back, and he walks in with the M5, the MP5. He comes out, he tells him like, throw the gun away. He tosses the gun to the side, and he puts his hands up on his head, and he's like, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like that scene.
This is what I would also suggest. Pick a studio and just use all movies from the same studio.
From that studio. Yeah. And I mean, of course, I figured we could fine tune it to. Yep.
Just look at the crowd of the Space Jam 2 at the Space Jam 2 game.
I get it. Anybody who's in that, we can use their movies. No, I get that, because, and I was fully aware that when you do a parody, you have to have like licensing and get the rights to films and da 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 da. And obviously, if it's all in the same company, it would be a lot easier. I knew that part of that was there, but that was one of those things. I was like, that's fine tuning. Right now, it's just an idea. You know what I'm saying? But when you go back and you look, Beacon, Please Rewind, Jack Black is a video store clerk. All the movies get damaged. He literally has to recreate all of the movies to put on film so that they still have something to rent. Shit's very close to my idea. You know what I'm saying? It's very close. Now, can it be altered? Could it be switched? Probably could. But I was clearly discouraged when I saw Be
Man,
Kind, Please
just
Rewind.
put the pitch deck together.
I've looked up how to create a pitch deck. I have this right here, and I love that Forbes is the one that's giving me this information. I'm like, oh hell yeah, Forbes. But it's
But they got they got templates you can download too. That's easy to plug.
Like one of my 4 free articles on Forbes. I haven't used up all 4, or at least not in this profile. But yeah, I will probably. I have to do more searching for that. But I looked it up how to create a pitch deck because it's a thing. It is absolutely a thing. We will have to. I'm confused by what I'm looking up at this picture right here. Snoop Dogg. Oh, that's Snoop's son and Haley. Okay, whatever. All right, man. You know what? I'm gonna do that. And I will sit and I will talk with you about a couple other ideas I had, and we will hash some things out. I'll grab Ty and we'll sit and talk it out. And if nothing else, I'm thinking like, hell, our fan casted. I'm a little fearful of that because I'm like, one of them go damn get made, and we ain't gonna get no credit for that. I'm be mad as hell. I be feeling it because I'm
gonna just be like, we casted this and it came true, and we just gonna put it. And I'm not even gonna be on no like, oh well, I'm hating because they stole my idea. I'm just be like, great minds think alike. So if y'all need somebody to cast y'all next movie, we can do it for you because clearly we know what we're talking about.
Clearly, we got the right ideas.
Everything is an opportunity,
and as am I. I'm also like,
because this is the thing. People gonna steal your ideas in the creative space. It's what we do. It's the Wild Wild West. Some people don't care and they don't have no code and no honor, and that's fine. But that's the kind of people you can come across in the Wild Wild West. Everybody can't be the hero. Everybody can't get the girl. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be Johnny Ringo.
That's kind of cold.
I mean, but you know what? That is. All right, so make sure you click that QR code. Y'all already know how I feel about that shit. Okay, click that QR code there in the corner. We are Grow Day Geeks. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. You know what? It is official now. I like the idea. We will have, let's see, let me make this note real quick in my book before I forget. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll put a 5 with a question mark. I don't think we'll have 5 Wednesdays in a month, but it could happen. First Wednesday is going to be Why Did I Watch That? I watched that. Second Wednesday was going to be open and free topics. Third Wednesday was going to be Fancasted. I like fourth Wednesdays as oh man, damn, I didn't even take time to think about but I I got to have like a nifty alliteration kind of thing. It's something about my wordplay. I know it's corny as fuck. It's an OCD thing. It has to have a jingle to it. Why did I watch that? Fancasted. So music, geek. Okay, I'll get back to that.
Something Sonic. Just to tie back into the gaming.
There we go. I just something I got it, but it needs. I want to keep it open. Honestly, I'm thinking like I want fourth Wednesday to be for obscure geek interest. I don't really feel like music's that obscure though, but I do want to open the.
But I feel like music is one of those things that it's like. I think that because a lot of musicians are like cool, people don't think of them as geeks. But like when you listen to musicians talk about music, it's like, oh no, that's all that they are. Like if you watch like Questlove's podcast, he's like, so on the third song on your fourth album, somebody was playing the marimba and they did this, and it's just like, Questlove, what are you talking about? Bro? But because socially, like some of those geeks are not relegated to the places that like your traditional geeks are, people don't. It's kind of like that weird thing because like I was a musician growing up too, and so I was like, yeah, you have to like practice so much and spend so much time on stuff, and like when you play music, you hear music differently, and you know, being able to recognize like voice. So I was like, I'd be listening to music with my wife, and I'm like, yeah, that's Faith. I'm like, yeah, that's Faith Evans singing background on like Mary J. Blige's like first album, and she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, like listen to the chorus again. That's clearly like Faith Evans. I was like, this is how she met Biggie through Puffy. Because, you know, I'm like piecing the whole thing together, just like on some
like
nerd
just doing
stuff.
the math, like just connecting all the dots. No, I get it. I get it.
And I think there's a lot of music in like gaming as well that we can talk about, music soundtracks and movies. I mean,
we were literally talking about that. No, we were literally talking about that before the show because David was telling me about what was the playlist?
Oh, the Persona dancing games, the remixes for the Persona music in 3 and 5 got released on Spotify.
And you know what? We actually had a posting group where somebody went off. Like somebody was like, in-game music sucks. And somebody was like, and the list they had, they was like, excuse me. I actually have like I've got a pretty cool, actually, I can't take credit for it. I didn't create it. It was one that I found and located. But I have a playlist that is like,
I was about to say, Sam, you starting to sound like nerd Forrest Gump. You was everywhere.
No, this one I didn't create. I found it, and after finding it, I was like, okay, cool. But it is OTS, but it's all gaming OTS. And what I've been like trying to mash together, I have a lo-fi gaming playlist. So it is like, I don't know. I really like the relaxing lo-fi sound and being able to put that with familiar tracks, like hearing a Zelda song, but in lo-fi, or hearing like Trap Mario. I like those kind of remixes. You know what I'm saying? I like those mashups. I like genres to be crossed and bent. I mean, hell, there's these two guys on TikTok that I follow. They country as hell. All they sing is country, but the mix-ups they be doing are fire. Like they'd be like, play this song, but make it country, and they do that.
Oh yeah, those guys on TikTok, yeah.
And it's like, you know what? I have no choice but to listen, and some of the stuff they come up with, it's like, you know what? I could say that I don't like country, but I like that shit. That was pretty good. Maybe I do like country. I'll be damn.
It's a couple of songs. It's like you probably like some of it. But
no,
yeah, I think like the gaming, I think gaming music is just like such an underrated experience just because like one, like when people do those like mashups and stuff, it's always funny because you know, people are just like, whoa, this is so clever. But it's like we all used to beat, like probably all of us used to probably like beatbox along to like Mario Brothers, or if somebody was like doing something at an assembly. When we sing the Jeopardy song, it ain't just the Jeopardy song. It's like we stomping and clapping, and we got a whole little beat that go with.
It's always extra, extra.
If we sing the national anthem, we're gonna put some
can't
mustard
take us
on.
No, can't take us nowhere.
And so I love stuff like that too, because it's just like, yeah, man, we're part of this culture, and we don't just like partake. We like do whatever we can to like elevate and put our own spin on things, and you know, make stuff fresh. And so it's like great that you can listen to, like, you get like a game like Tony Hawk when it came out had enough rap on it for like people like myself who is like, some of them songs I'm like, restart level, bro. I can't listen to this.
I can't skate to this. No, it's like I can't skate to this. No, I absolutely understand that, because
now I grew up in that era where most of that music was like regular music I hear on a daily basis.
Yeah, no, we were like, Dave and I were actually like laughing and joking early because Panic with the Disco finally disbanded and they broke up, and it's like,
what? Oh
yeah, like the last two members. Yeah, like the
It
last
hurt
two,
my soul.
the last two members of like it's no. I mean, at this point, it's not even Panic at the Disco. It's just like, hey, check that out at the disco. You know what I'm saying? Like they. I'm not gonna say they fell off, but like
They fell off.
they hadn't been what they were for a while now. You know what I'm saying? Like Fun. I ain't heard shit from Fun, and they front man needed to come back and do something, but that gets us back in, that pulls us back into music.
Good riddance.
Right. Well, no, but that's how it all comes back together because he did a song with actually Janelle Monáe was featured on his song.
Yes.
And that was actually the best version of that song. And I like that original version.
And I was like, cool, like I'm gonna keep listening to Janelle Monáe. And I will never need to hear another Fun song again. I mean, I used to. That dude was in like another band before that my wife used to listen to in high school, and I like some of that stuff more than what he was doing in Fun. But you know,
he had
it was
like
just
two songs in Fun. Like we're just
two. Are you giving them two? I'm only giving them that one.
No, they had Some Nights and the We Are Young song.
Yeah, see, yeah.
It was a lot of Civil War marches.
Yeah. we are fun. I play these kids with these proms and these homecomings, they always want to chant this. They chant that song. That's the song they want to chant and play before they end everything.
Right. And that's what I say. Like there were two. But notice I said like Fun doesn't need to come back. He, the lead, the singer, he could come back and do something else. But all in all, I did well because I stuck with Janelle Monáe and went down that rabbit hole and discovered all of her albums. And
I love her.
I am just so happy with everything she does all the time. And I will say, like, it's kind of funny because when they talk about like how nobody was up for this particular looking at this Oscar setting and the people who were nominated and who were not nominated, and it's like with some of the movies that were up for like Best Picture, how do you not have somebody from that movie representing like Best Actress or Best Actor, that kind of thing? And there was a lot of people. Oddly enough, a lot of people feel like maybe Janelle Monáe got snubbed for not getting a nomination. And I'm like, this was not the movie she needed a nomination. Don't give me like the.
Please tell me what movie do you think she should have got nominated for?
If she was going to get a nomination, like honestly, I don't know that she's. I don't know that she's not there yet. I mean, I love look, I have a very special like. Janelle Monáe came in and replaced Janet in my life. Okay, like Janet Jackson was
what?
Bruh.
I mean, on Janet's hiatus, I mean, people had to move on.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to. I was look.
She was finding herself. We had to find ourselves.
Look, what did Janet say? I get so lonely. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And Janelle was there, and I was able to. I got tickets. I went to the concert. The wife fell in love. We've been to another concert. It's a whole thing. So Janelle replaced Janet for me in that like social space. So I still follow Janet. Never gonna let her go. But you know what I'm saying? As a result, I started getting into everything that Janelle was doing. And I think she is definitely, making her mark in Hollywood. And if she continues to get roles and continues to act, she's going to only get better.
Well, she's Juilliard trained, like, so she's not just like, oh, I was a singer and they just bringing me over. It's like she has like
she knows
Broadway training for acting.
Her problem is that they keep putting her in these small roles.
Right.
Yeah, but that's
and that's why I say she has to keep getting like it'll be a moment before she's headlining and leading a movie.
It's like it's like think about it like this. This is. Like Jennifer, look at how many Oscars Jennifer Lawrence has been nominated for versus like Angela Bassett, who I think everybody can agree is like she acts circles around Jennifer Lawrence. But like when Jennifer Lawrence's opportunity comes up and she does something that people think is phenomenal, like what was the Silver Linings Playbook? I never saw that movie, but everybody who I've ever known who saw it says it's good and says she deserved to win for that. But it's like, okay, we can look back at numerous times where people who also deserve to win did not, or sometimes were not even nominated. It's like she gets that Oscar, but Denzel doesn't get it for Malcolm X. And it's like you can make up for it with Training Day, but it still doesn't like answer the question. When somebody watches Denzel Washington in Malcolm X, for you to then turn around and say, yeah, he didn't win that year. He lost to Al Pacino's Scent of a Woman.
But he got it for Training Day, which to me is even worse in comparison because of the and that gets into something like far more.
It's the politics personal of Hollywood. But when we talk about why Janelle Monáe is not getting those same opportunities as like kind of an it girl who checks all your boxes, smart, funny, black, well, actually not female. I think she's non-binary, but still in part of the spectrum, which, you know, checks a lot of boxes in terms of marketing. Not saying that she's trying to do that on purpose, but when somebody's sitting down and weighing their options, if they're trying to like do all of these things, it's like absolutely something that people are considering for various things. And it's just like, how long is it going to be before she gets hers? How long has it been since Viola? What have we seen Octavia Butler in, even since winning her Oscar? What have we seen Halle Berry in since winning her Oscar? What have we seen any of these people do? And then that's not counting the people who got robbed, like Angela Bassett for What's Love Got to Do with It. I don't even know who won that year, but you're not going to tell me there's anybody on the planet Earth that acted better in any movie.
We needed a straight up Kanye moment for that. Somebody need to hop up on stage. I'm gonna let you finish.
But the thing you gotta look at, it wasn't mainstream. That's why a lot of the black actresses and actors never really make it, because to us as black people, we're like, oh, this is the person who stood out. Guess what? We didn't see all those
non-mainstream stuff that gets nominated from Europe and like all these other cultures and stuff like that.
Indie films.
Like, yes, but the people who watch them are they're in a bigger demographic than we are.
Yeah, but the black movies are released in bigger settings than those indie movies that get the critics. So
yes, but nobody watched them. Nobody watches them.
No, those people didn't watch them.
But
that's why
you got to think about it. This is why Black Panther, the first one, was such a big deal when it came out, and the number wise, because black people come out to watch movies.
Trust me, I know all about the oh shoot moments with Black Panther. I was telling you for a year before it came out, they needed to be ordering more stuff. And then when it came out, nobody had enough stuff. Yeah. And so, we need that. I was like, yeah, here's all the art. I've been having the team work on it for the past 3 months, even though y'all didn't understand what I was trying to tell you. But that goes into like the politics of stuff too. It's like they're looking at their demographics. They're not wanting to like, it's like a fine balance between like not being inclusive and not pandering, that people are like trying to tiptoe with some of the things on terms of representation. But when it comes to actresses, black actresses at that, not really getting their like just due. I mean, look at like, you know, a Regina Hall, Taraji P. Henson, like, you know, there's just like all these people who it just feels like people are like, yeah, they're so good, they're phenomenal. But it's like, okay, so then where are the opportunities? Where are the roles? And then the people who would create opportunities for them are not necessarily greenlit. And so it's like because the response is when black creators in that space make something, the response is not, okay, black people are creating like these great things that people are resonating with. Let's hire more black people. It's, oh man, living single is great. It would be really cool if I just took that and made it with 6 white people in Manhattan and put it on like another network. You know what I mean? So it's like, rather than looking at the situation and saying like, okay, this is the talent pool that's actually giving us the best, most creative things. It's like you let a few in, you look at what they're doing, and then you're like, all right, how can I replicate this, but make it mainstream, but make it crossover? And it's like the things that they can't replicate, they let it go. A Different World, they got that up out of here. Like, you know, like in all honesty, they let Different World stay on forever. But when was the last time you seen a sitcom about a black college, any college really, but since Saved by the Bell, the college years,
Yeah.
like they haven't figured that one out yet.
Well, I mean,
Because
well,
it
yeah, you
wasn't
did say a
doable for them.
sitcom, yeah.
But
Like,
like
'cause all these damn
all the other ones they figured out, and so it just boils down to just like how it's treated, and that's why I'm kind of just like, on one hand, I do understand it because in theory it should create opportunity, it should open doors, but it's like in practice, has it? And so then what is the response? It's like if you get nominated for an Oscar, I'm not gonna fault nobody for going to the ceremony and hoping that you can win. But I just want to also be able to look at it and say, like, okay, but like my community values me in this way over here. And so
Yeah.
I'm going to value that just as much as, if not more than, this community over here who largely ignores me unless I just happen to stumble upon something that they deem phenomenal and worthy of their attention.
But is that a 13% issue?
No, because even with the 13%, we still created every single like cool thing that America has ever seen for the past 400 years.
And I get that.
So
my question is more about,
it's a mindset thing.
If the 13%, no. If the 13%, when we were talking earlier, you were like, okay, and we'll take Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett deserves her flowers and she deserves her win. If she gets her NAACP Image Award, and she gets her BET Award, and she gets XYZ QRP, she gets all of those awards. And that all of those are held up and the esteem is there from the 13. It should have more weight on her having that Oscar. But until she gets that Oscar, it's still like she has to come and audition for the role like anybody else.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, she's still going to have to go audition for the role even after she gets the Oscar, which is my point.
But
she can be offer only, but like, what are the offers going to be?
But see, if she had gotten the Oscar, back on What's Love Got to Do with It, when you look at the body of work she's had since that time, she might not have been the person in a Gunpowder Milkshake. You know what I'm saying? They might have gotten somebody else for that role because they wouldn't have had to resort to an Angela. I'm not and but she I mean, would have had to resort to doing said movie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I don't think she's the kind of person. That probably
would have been a Vivica A. Fox.
But I don't think she's the kind of person that resorts to doing anything at this point in her career. It's like she got money. She on a TV show right now that's like a big middle America hit TV show. Like her husband got money. Like she's straight. Her kids is mostly grown. Like she's doing what she wants to do at this point. And I think that she looks at a movie like a whiskey milkshake. It's like Angela Bassett is a great actress, but like she also was in Vampire in Brooklyn, which I think is underrated as like a horror comedy. And I think people just like to piss all over that movie because of the time in which Eddie Murphy was in his career, and he wasn't doing like 48 Hours and Trading Places. He wasn't doing Black Man in the White World movies anymore. He was doing black movies. And people didn't understand that, which is why black people love Vampire in Brooklyn. And, you know, but the Rotten Tomato meter would say otherwise.
That's where that accolades in the 13%. When we were talking earlier, you're like, you know, it should have more weight, but it's still only 13%.
But I think it would feel stronger as well if we in that 13% adopted the same idea as well. Like, because the issue is we all like collectively, the majority of us still hold the Oscar in a higher esteem than NAACP award. So it's like when they even look at the community, it's still like, oh yeah, we want you to win that Oscar. We want you to win that Oscar. We want you to win that Oscar. Whereas I think it would probably be better if they were just like, man, fuck the Oscars. What do they know? How would they know to even recognize the real talent that lies within us because we don't have the same kind of like cultural understanding of one another and cultural understanding of our art. Like, yes, there is some crossover, and there's times where generationally things click and white people start liking and understanding jazz and rock and roll and disco and hip hop and R&B and rock and country, blues, whatever, you know, but that initial acceptance is not something that generally happens in terms of new Black genres crossing over. The rebellious nature of it is what attracts that demographic of like young people to like, oh, my parents don't want me to listen to this. Why?
Right.
So I think like if we in turn all say, you know what, if the actors and actresses and the musicians are just like, screw all those institutions, we don't even care about them anymore. And we in turn say the same thing. I don't care about the Grammys. I don't care about the Oscars. I care more about a Soul Train award because that's our music. That's one of our musical institutions. It's like, okay, no, it's not going to have the same budget as the Grammys because that's been around for how long? Like, let's stop comparing things to like other things that create those as the standard. The Grammy is not the standard. That's just a thing that they made and they said it was important. And we said, okay. So why can't we look at something and we say, this is important? And we just say it and we all agree, like, this is important. I would love for a big artist to come out and say, I'd much rather win an NAACP Image Award than an Oscar.
Okay, it's, you know what, and it will be an artist that I won't say has nothing to lose, but would only have the world to gain as a result. And it's funny because I think, like, just thinking back to that whack New York Times list, you know what I'm saying? You take someone like looking at that list, you take someone like a Lizzo, who is already fighting certain uphill battles as is. That would be
That's her fault.
That
is her fault. That is her fault.
Some of it is.
Some of it is. Some of it's not.
Yeah,
some of it is just the fault of people being assholes about it.
But she definitely does what she can to stir attention and, you know what I'm saying, make her name pop. And it's one of those situations where it's like, you know, all press is good press. You know what I'm saying?
That's her job.
Right. Like, all press is good press. So if she's not staying in your face, making sure that you see her, you're not going to know who she is. You're not going to listen to her song. You're not going to turn her on, et cetera, et cetera. That's not going to get the album sold. That's not going to get her gigs booked and whatnot. So I get what she's doing and where she's coming from. So you take someone like that, and I remember, I forget which award show it was, but she won an award recently and used the platform to bring all of the people out on stage that she brought out. And she was like, you know, thank you for this award. This is great. But these people need a moment to be spotlighted. And she had 15 people that she took time, like, use her entire acceptance speech to spotlight these other 15 people behind her and, you know, like, try to move their plight forward and talk about their things. So you take somebody like a Lizzo who doesn't mind being out there and doing that type of thing. Sure, she could be the one to step out there and be like, I don't need a Grammy. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't need an Oscar, or I don't need a this. I don't need that validation from those sources. Let me get my validation from this source. Some people can do it and be successful. Some people, I think if they did it, there would be too much backlash. It would be a problem. I think the average rapper is fine to go out there and say, but I think some of these other people who kind of teeter that line as is have to play a little careful.
I'm gonna say this: if they don't get Beyonce album of the year this year, like, if I'm her, I'm never going back to another Grammy ever again in life. Don't ask me to perform. Don't ask me. Don't even put me up on the in memoriam. Like, I'm done. Like, just pretend I don't exist anymore, because that's what you're doing. It's because it's like, I personally didn't feel like, you know, Lemonade was, I didn't really like Lemonade that much, but it's like enough people thought that was the best album even Adele thought that it was better than her own album, Who Won, and it's just like,
And that was her just saving face.
But how many times you
being
gonna
an
get this
ally?
wrong? And it's like, you know, we live in a world where where Macklemore won a Grammy for Rap Album of the Year over Kendrick Lamar. Like, we gotta understand how unserious this institution is, and just stop putting so much weight in it. Like, what do you know about rap, Grammy committee?
Literally, it's again one of those things where, like, when we look at that other list, you know what I'm saying? It is like any corporate body anywhere. When they look at the best, there is a specific metric that they are looking at every single time, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to equal dollars. How marketable, how much money can this person get me? If that person can't get me a certain amount of money, they move further down the list. Are you an asset or a liability? That's how companies operate. And the Oscars committee, the Grammy committee, all of these award committees follow the same suit. And it's like, hey, on the one hand, they might look and be like, yes, this movie was good, but it's also going to be like you said, well, this movie checks off this box, this box, this box, this box. It did well enough at the box office. It made it had a gross percentage over this. This is the minimum requirement to be eligible. Because I'm sure there's been plenty of times where there was a better movie, a better show, a better whatever, but this one over here made more money. And as a result, because let me tell you something, I have no interest in seeing this damn Avatar. This next Avatar, it's already hit the 2 billion mark. And I'm like, how? Who the fuck is going to see this movie?
Okay, Sam. Did you like the first one?
Everything? No, you see everything. You don't count.
No. I was gonna, cause see, I was you before the movie came out. Before I saw it, I was you. I was like, okay, what else can he really do? 3D, blah blah blah. What more can he do with it? And yeah, he pushed that envelope. I'm not gonna lie, he did.
And push that envelope off the table and into the trash can, please.
And that's fine, but
no more.
But like, legitimately, it is one of those things where, like, I am not. I have no interest in this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no interest in this next movie. And the fact that, like, I am one person, but I will say that I control the fates of potentially 5 other people when it comes to ticket sales. If I tell the family, like, hey, let's all get together, go see this movie on Saturday, boom, that's 5 people that I got going to the theater with me, the wife, and 3 kids. So that's 5 tickets they're going to get. If I'm like, oh, I don't want to see that, my kids are probably going to be like, what movie is that? Anything, they may not be interested, and it trickles down from there. My point is, without my money and without other people like me, without their money, this bitch is already at 2 billion. The Avatar movie is already at 2 billion. So I can't boycott anything James Cameron does, because he ain't gonna give a fuck what I got to say. You know what I'm saying? Now, he talked all that shit about superhero movies and then turned around and
made a superhero movie.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you just don't like the way they did it. You don't like you felt some kind of way because they was. And here's the thing, like
you're literally creating a cinematic universe while shitting on the very thing that has like
you've already got
after Star Wars, like
Avatar set up.
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
really that story. You got 5 stories to tell with this shit.
You think because you pulling this story out of your ass that it's harder than people using comic books, where it's just like, fam, you don't have to deal with people talking about, well, this is not how it happened in the comic book. It's like, okay, man, I get it. There were 5 million people at the battle in Civil War. Name 50 heroes that were established in the MCU at that point, and then you tell me how they could have had all them people in the battle. Exactly. So I know we talked about that numerous times before, but like that's just what it's like. It's like people just full of shit, man. I don't know no other way.
That's really what it comes. That's really what it comes down to. And I mean, sometimes
But he knew it though. He knew that it was a possibility that nobody was really gonna come watch that movie. So he was setting it up like, look, if it don't sell like it should, I'm just gonna stop at the next one since we already basically filmed that, and I'm not doing it anymore. And then now that it did what it did, he's like, oh well, come on, push it on. Let's do the last two.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but like this one was Avatar: The Way of Water. So then technically, since the first one they were looking for unobtainium, which was earth, and now this one is water. And have we already gotten the information that the next one is fire? Bruh.
Somebody said it was fire, yeah.
Bruh. But hold on, I see the writing on the wall. You ain't tricking nobody, Cameron.
But
Avatar.
You ain't tricking. Look, ain't nobody got glowing blue arrows. Their whole body is blue. You not fooling nobody. This is not original. This ain't something.
Well, it was never original. Everybody said it was the Ferngully or Pocahontas, the first one.
I mean, if we really want to get into it, there's a whole conspiracy theory revolving around the whole Terminator series. We're not gonna do that tonight, but I want y'all to look it up.
No, what she's talking about. Yeah,
the lady who wrote.
I don't believe that shit.
The lady who wrote the Terminator. I believe it because there's documented lawsuits that she won.
Okay.
Yeah, man, don't be capable for James Cameron.
Oh, I'm definitely not capable for that. I thought he was going to. I honestly thought he was going to go out and say something about him winning the award. I don't think he's going to win.
Oh no. I mean,
he's nominated for best. Was it the graphic CG? I think
and that's a fair nomination. Like,
but he's not gonna get it. That's a set. No, and he's the best animated thing or something weird that he's nominated for, and then everybody's like he should win, but they might not give it to him because of the whole scenario. So
he came in here and talked all this crap. I don't.
You
know what? The funny part is, I actually this is how much I have invested into it. The media, the news outlets that I actually get news from told me that Angela Bassett was nominated, and that her being nominated for Black Panther does two things. One, puts Angela Bassett in the nomination, and two, puts a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie in nomination for a Best Picture.
She's going to win it, though.
Best acting role.
Best acting role.
She's going to win it. She's going to win it, though. She's going to win that.
But see, the crazy thing is here's the setup. And it's one of those things where it's like it comes down to it is what it is, but everything everywhere all at once. Michelle Yeoh.
No, but she's not nominated for best. Michelle Yeoh's nominated for best actress. Angela Bassett is nominated for best supporting.
Yeah.
Okay, so they can both.
Yeah,
win.
they're both win.
Okay, cool.
But I'm with everybody else. It's a gimme. I'll say that it is going to be a gimme.
But it's a gimme because she acted her ass off.
Yeah.
Ooh, Angela in Black Panther too.
Yes.
She barely was in it. She barely was in it. She did her speech that we heard in the thing. Listen, she did her speech that we heard on the commercial. Yes, we watched the same movie. She did her speech.
That is exactly,
and that was the biggest part of it.
Explain something to you. That is exactly how you win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. You give a monumental speech like that. That is going to be literally. I was watching the movie. I'm like, that's going to be the speech that they show during her Oscar montage when she's nominated, because there's no way that she's not going to be nominated. You can say she was barely in it, but that's why she's nominated for Best Supporting Actress, first of all.
Third of the movie.
Second of all, she was in a lot of the movie. She had a lot of impact. Her character had a lot of impact in what was going on in the movie. Like, she was the linchpin emotionally for everyone in that movie.
She caused a lot of the actions to
I mean, she was damn sure a main character.
Oh no, I ain't saying she's not a main character, but
she was in a third of the movie at worst,
and she had her character had a lot of say in how everything was going in that movie. Yeah, man, she killed that. That's because here's the thing. when you watch a movie, you know somebody a good actor where they get you to change your mind about them. Because when she was yelling when she fired Okoye, I was like, dang man, you ain't even like see what had happened. Like it wasn't her fault. Like you kind of acting crazy right now. And then she gave that speech, and she's just like, have I not sacrificed everything? And I'm like, you know what, Okoye?
Take that L, baby. Like you know what? Just get your severance on the way out. I get where she's coming from. She not wrong.
And your Okoye did too.
Yeah.
She had to accept what the queen was, and I think her ability to like make you think about like that perspective and think about even just understand just like how much you overlooked her perspective because you were just like about the mission, even as like a viewer. It's like nah, she got to get out, and it's like nah, fam, like you got to deal with this like a real person, and like somebody need to like suffer the consequences for the actions, even if you meant for it to happen or not. And nah, man, she 1000% deserves the win. I mean,
I'm trying to remember who else is in there, but yeah.
Which category? The best supporting?
The supporting, yeah.
And here's the thing, though. This is my thing. Who cares?
Yeah.
Everybody cares, man. Watch.
No.
Black Twitter is gonna erupt when she wins. Oh my God!
What is Angela Bassett winning a Best Supporting Oscar going to do for her? Because it doesn't make her a better actress.
Yeah.
We've known that she's a phenomenal actress this entire time throughout her entire career. So
and admittedly, on top of that, the thing that gets me is like it's Best Supporting Actress. You got in that category, you have Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda, Hong Chow for The Well, Carrie Condon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis,
I forgot
Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
It's a gimme.
It's a gimme.
Well, why is she even nominated? The chick from Will.
Well, so here's the thing, and
hold on, have you seen it?
Which one?
The Will.
Brendan Fraser?
Yeah.
No, but
yeah,
I'm not.
When you see that, you like, why was she even nominated? Like,
there was only like 4 people in that movie, though, right?
I
mean,
go ahead.
It was only like 4 people, but I mean, you take something like and this is where it gets weird. Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, while I am not advocating for Jamie Lee Curtis to be the winner over Angela Bassett, I am pointing out that how many wins does Jamie Lee Curtis have? So when you make that comparison about, she finally got one, that conversation,
but what would Jamie Lee Curtis have been nominated for before this?
Movies that
Halloween.
That's the thing. Jamie Lee Curtis was also not doing like a bunch of movies where people should have been coming out saying, she deserved. And because it's like it's not like we saying Angela Bassett deserved the Oscar for every role she played. We're not asking for an Oscar for like Akilah and the Bee. We just saying when she played Tina Turner, there was nobody better in the movie that year. No woman better in the movie that year. And she deserved that Oscar. And so that was a snub. But like nobody's like marching for How Stella Got Her Groove Back. That was a good movie for what it was, but the arguments people are making about like people getting snubbed, it's just about the validity of like this person was like literally better than like all those people.
Right. And I get that. And I am just, it has been a very long time since Jamie Lee Curtis was not just in a movie. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you have like, hell, she was in the first Knives Out. Nothing. She was just part of the ensemble cast. The one you mentioned, True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger, not even an Oscar-worthy movie, but I will say she did have a standout performance in that movie, and that's one of the better parts of True Lies, because it was just another like standard shoot him up.
I mean,
for
I would say
Schwarzenegger.
if I was gonna say any role in her career, I would have said True Lies. But it's just that kind of movie is not respected by the Oscars.
Yeah.
So even if you do a
Right.
phenomenal job acting in it, unless it's like super serious all the way, like
A
the
Fish
first
Called Wanda is
Terminator.
probably the closest thing she's had to that someone would look at her as having a super serious role. And
Right.
I don't think that she was the standout character for that when she was in it, and I remember it, but she wouldn't have been the draw for that. But it still comes back to be just one of those things where, like, again, when we talk about 13 versus the rest, it's going to be a lot of people that get to make the same argument, like, oh, well, she's never won, and
Yeah.
I didn't mean to make that voice when I said that.
No, that's
that
the
was
voice.
that was a
That was
reflex.
him. No,
That-
it's a reflex for a reason.
That
Because
was a
that's how you
reflex.
hear. That's how you hear that phrase said to you.
In your mind, yep.
And the
Not in your
the
mind,
person
in
that's
real
gonna-
life.
The person that's going to make that argument, that's what I feel like they
Yep.
would say. Not a
The
not
people
a true
that will make the
movie
people that will make
viewer.
that argument.
Right, not a true movie connoisseur or movie viewer, anything like that. Just the person that's going to come up and,
Mhm.
and be like,
Just completely the nondescript person.
okay,
Mhm.
so y'all click that because I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna go real loud.
This person with no distinguishing characteristics or features whatsoever.
What does their shirt say? Don't do that. Y'all click that QR code in the corner. We are Grown A Geeks. This has been Weigh In Wednesday. Fourth Wednesday is gonna be our music show. We'll get on here. We'll talk some music and we'll compare some songs. And I don't know. Jeff is real good with ideas, and we'll come up with some ways to make Fourth Wednesday interesting in what we discuss with music. It won't just be random. This is what I listened to this week. It'll have themes and topics and interests. And make sure to follow everybody at their perspectives. Heroic Hat on everything. That'll be David. Check him out on TikTok. He is blowing up. Be sure to get part of the fight game community. And I'm still advocating for fight school. Hopefully that's going on and you're continuing to push with that.
That is
DJ
something coming.
Cool. DJ Fat Snacks down but low. If you need to, next time you got to change that. You got to put up your booking information so people can reach out.
It's right there. It's right there in the middle.
Right. Okay. So look up DJ Fat Snacks wherever your ads are.
Everything.
Everything.
PlayStation,
DJ. There you go.
PlayStation thing.
See,
Twitter.
Now look
Instagram.
Over here. Look over here at Hatman. You see how he did that? Add Heroic Hat on everything. So next go round, that's what I'm gonna need you to do. Okay. You was a special guest tonight. We appreciate you being here. So I'm gonna give you that pass. We're gonna put it up there. But everybody, you all be sure to check out DJ Fat Snacks on everything, everywhere on all his socials. JPNT17. Check out the website, check out the store, order your own materials. Also, check out 85 Apparel, 85 South Apparel.
Yes.
Okay.
85 Apparel Company.
There we go. 85 Apparel Company. I don't want
we
to
just dropped some new stuff, full family collection. So everything from infant all the way up to grown people. So if y'all need to make some matchy pictures or whatever.
I was thinking the photo shoot. It was
matchy.
I liked what I saw. So
I like that.
Definitely check that out. And of course, I am Sam here at Grown A Geeks. For my crew tonight, this has been Weigh In Wednesday. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check us out next week. Usually you can find us around 9. Be sure to go back and check everything else out that we got. Got a lot of great content. But that's it for tonight. We'll holler at you later. Peace.